Hello and welcome everybody. It is Expo Dave and Vickyville, and Scrappy Boy Sean is over here taking care of us today, and we're so glad that you're joining us for our final shop at home event this year. The year's almost gone and we'll be ready for 2021.
Yes.
But we're so glad that you're joining us today, and for those of you who are joining us for the first time, certainly we want to welcome you, and then those of you who are returning, we want to say hello and welcome back. Today's segments with Vickyville and I and Scrappy Boy Sean, we are live today, but our presenters and our shopping extravaganza, those segments are videotaped, and the reason is because the vendors, they want to be ready to answer any of your questions. So if you have any questions for any of the presenters or the vendors today, you want to get on the computer and let them know, and you can even shout out a hey to us too. We'd love to see what you guys are doing. We know some of you are, either maybe you're baking, maybe finishing, wrapping presents, decorating, cleaning. Yes, that's a big one. So, but we're so glad you're joining us. And for those of you who are watching us today on Facebook or
YouTube.
Thank you. I don't know where the words are coming. And you haven't signed up to subscribe with us on our YouTube channel, we're just going to go to Stamp and Scrapbook Expo and subscribe, and then down in the corner right here, there's a bell that they want to hit, and that will, once you hit that, you'll get notifications when we have events all during the week and the weekends, and we have, we still have events this week coming up for sure.
You don't want to miss anything.
No.
That helps you stay in the know.
Exactly. And then another way, we'd love for you to go to craftathomeevents.com, and if you sign up for our newsletter, you get information every week on everything that's coming up. So 2 great ways to know what we're going to be doing, and we have today's shop at home, and we have one of our wonderful mega make-and-takes tomorrow that you'll want to tune in for as well. So we've been busy, haven't we?
It's been a good month.
It has. And today, at the end of our show today, we are going to be announcing our 3 winners. We've been having an ornament contest for a few months, and Vicki, can we go ahead and we have a few more ornaments that we want to show everybody that we've received in, and we certainly appreciate everybody that has sent us in an ornament, and we get some really wonderful cards and such. So we really appreciate everybody that's participated, and we're going to be putting them on our tree. So we'll be having it all decorated right up. So
wow.
I know we have some great ornaments.
Let me know when to switch to you, Vicky.
Okay, you can switch to me.
Yep.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yep, you're on.
Okay. Look at this ornament.
Gorgeous.
Oh my goodness. Look at that. It says Season's Greetings, and oh my goodness. I love the white, the snow and the sparkles.
Yeah, isn't that beautiful?
And look at it. It's like this plastic half glass that is so pretty. And then look at the snow. It glitters. And it came with this, I do not want to, look at this beautiful card that came with it.
Oh, wow.
Do you see that? That's gorgeous. Look at the layers on the card. I know it's not I know it's the ornament, but the card is amazing. So there's the first one. And that was from Karen Bell, aka Scotch Bonnet.
Oh!
And then the next one, oh, look at this one. 2020, isn't that the truth? The toilet paper. That's so cute. That's on a piece of, this wood. Thank you for making 2020 awesome. Love, Christine.
Oh, she's on here right now. We're talking to her.
She?
Hi, Christine.
Hi,
Thank you
Christine.
so much.
That is the perfect
and so
ornament.
is Scotch Bonnet.
Ah.
This is so cute. Okay. And how cute is this? It's like a How cute is that? It's like a mouse.
So creative.
Yes,
so
and it
creative.
opens up.
What?
Can you see that? And
Oh,
there's
yeah.
the logo in there, Stampin' Scrapbook Expo. How cute! And that is from Mary Locke. Christine and Mary Locke. How cute. I love that.
That's so awesome.
You see the logo, Sean?
Yeah.
Cute. Okay,
Oh.
and then let's see. Here is another. Oh my goodness, how adorable is this? Are these people the most creative
I
I've
know.
ever
Is she
seen?
sewing a face mask? How cute.
It's sewing a face mask.
Yes.
That's adorable. I want to put that on
Remember
my tree.
COVID 2020? Look at that!
They're going to look so great on our tree.
Yeah, they are. I want to knock that one off.
Oh my god. Look at this right here.
It's very creative.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
And look at the mask. Oh my goodness, that is adorable. And that was from Deb Russell.
All right, Deb.
And then we have these beautiful, I love these girls. This is from Ms. Kathy Dipner. And look at how cute she is.
Wow.
It's like a mug. Different little mugs.
Those are so cute.
How cute are those?
Everybody's so creative.
Yeah.
Aren't they? How fun. Okay, and I believe that was it. So
Great. Well, like I said, we appreciate everybody, and we can't. We're going to have our tree up next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, we have our first shop and play at home on January the 2nd, and we're going to have our tree up because we want to be able to show.
Extend Christmas just
That's
a little more.
right. Well, you know, the 12 days of Christmas are actually the 12 days after Christmas, not before.
Okay.
If you
so
didn't
there
know
we
that,
go.
so yes. So
I love Christmas so
I-
much.
I know.
I'm
I
getting
know.
so excited.
6
We're
days.
6 days
6
away.
days.
Oh my gosh. Is everybody done with their Christmas shopping?
Yes.
Their everything that they're going to do, their traditions, their cards? I
Yes.
hope, I think cards will come.
Yes.
If it's, my earring keeps getting stuck on my shirt, and I try to look at David, and I'm like...
Turning your head.
But, yeah, don't you love Christmas?
Oh yes, gosh, it's everything is so, you know, it's so funny because you can still smile with a mask on because you can smile with your eyes for
You
sure
can.
when you see people. So.
I was actually in Starbucks this morning getting my coffee, and there was a little, the cutest little baby boy and his parents, and he had like a little cute gingham beanie on,
Oh.
and I had my mask on, but he was just adorable, this little rosy
Oh.
cheek, and it's true because I was like, hi cutie, but he can't see that I'm smiling,
Yeah.
and he just smiled right back at
Yes.
me. It was just, so you can smile, you could smize.
Smile.
I
There
think
you
that's
go.
smile with your eyes. Smize.
Yeah, yes. Well, you know, everybody's busy, and you know, please be kind to your delivery men because they are working. I know ours has
Oh,
really
yeah.
been under a lot of pressure, so
Yeah.
they're doing what they can,
Right.
and you know, next time order earlier with your gifts. But gosh, you know, we have a lot of shopping today too.
I know.
That we're going to get, you know, last minute shopping, and gosh, there's certainly nothing wrong with getting something in between Christmas and New Year's.
I
too,
think today's broadcast, you could say, I've done all my shopping for all my family, and now I'm going to concentrate on
There you
myself.
go, yes.
Because we too need to take care of ourselves.
Yes.
And I think
Yep.
that it's time to say, you know what, I deserve a new crafting
Exactly.
purchase.
That's right. It's your
I'm
time.
worth it. Yes.
That's right. It is time, you know, to sit and relax, and you know, there's so many great products that you're going to be able to see and get and enjoy, and you know, in watching the show today, gosh, you're going to get all inspired for 2021 too. Boy,
Yes.
just think of all the great projects you're going to be making in the year to come. So.
Oh, I know. I can't wait.
I know, gosh.
There's Valentine's, there's Easter, there's St. Patrick's.
Yes.
There's so many things.
Every month, you know, you got Happy New Year that we'll be celebrating, and
Right, and
Yes.
of course we're going to have to go back and scrapbook Christmas, so
yeah,
we need the paper and the stamps and all
Be
that.
time for everything.
Yes.
So exactly. So everybody, you get get that special cup of, tea or coffee or, soda that you drink, and get ready. And we will be back shortly, so enjoy.
Hey y'all, it's Mary Jo with chatandchalk.com, chatandchalk.com. So tonight I am going to give you just some basic chalk fun. And we've done all kinds of fun crafts in the past. We've done the gazing ball for Halloween. We've done your scrapbook layouts for the fall. We've done some Christmas, we've done some trays, but tonight I'm just going to show you a basic vintage truck and how you can change that out and go from Christmas to Valentine's Day, 1, 2, 3, easy peasy, and have a great time doing it. Everybody loves this little truck. So let's add a little love and get ready to enjoy this season and anticipate the next one, right? You might as well. Why not? Have fun. So let's get going on this. I have just 20 minutes to show you a lot of fun. So the first thing I want to show you is our self-healing cutting mat. This is awesome because it's just 18 by 24. It's a good size. It has the grids. It just works real well. It's all marked off. I just personally love it. And it looks good. It's a great working tool. And then what we're going to chalk on tonight is called our Grayson board. This is our 9 by 12 Grayson. It has little hangers on the back so you can do vertical or horizontal. Already comes with. The biggest dilemma I always have, just so you know, is that you have to remember which side has the hanger on it when you go up, because that's got to be the top, right? You don't know how many times I have chalked on these things and then turn it over and going, I did it upside down. Crazy, crazy. Now, tonight we're going to be using the vintage truck set. And we're gonna make it look all happy for Valentine's. I just washed this board off, and I've used this transfer many times, as you can tell. And so we're just gonna lay the first layer, and I'm gonna have to use the blow dryer tonight so that you guys can see, or I guess it's a heat tool, so that you guys can see how awesome this is. And we are also going to do a little bit of buffalo plaid. Yeah, we're gonna do it in a shimmer tonight, so it looks really cool. So I'm gonna do the base of this, the peony, which is our really, really pretty pink. So I'm gonna just mix this up. And you want your chalk paste to be the consistency of sour cream, okay? Use something plastic to mix it up with. You don't want to use a popsicle stick because a popsicle stick sometimes will wick that fluid up into the wood. Now this is our multi-purpose tool, and I love this especially for stirring your chalk paste. You take this edge, the flat edge, and you run it around your chalk paste jar like this, and then dump that in there, right? And then take, and you can go way up. Look at how clean that gets it. Do you guys see? Well, I guess you can't because my name's there. See how clean that gets the edge? So it's really good for your chalk paste, and it saves you some money because you're not going to throw away chalk paste. And you can get in there and take care of your paste. I like to tell my customers once a month you need to go in there and just stir your chalk paste. Add the water if it needs it, or whatever you need to do to get your chalk paste up to par. So let's go ahead and do this first layer. Now these are silk screen stencils, or we call them transfers. And the neat thing about them is that they have, if you look here, they have a little screen. See, it's a silk screen, so my fingers aren't really touching. There's a silk screen in there. And then it's sticky on the back, so it's not gonna jiggle and wiggle around. It's not like you used to stencil. I had some people say, oh, I used to stencil my kids' walls. And I'm like, oh, you poor lady. That was painstaking. We did one chair and it was just like, oh my goodness, it was just painstaking to do that. My husband did it and he did a really good job though. We still have that chair. That was our baby chair, baby rocking chair. So, but yeah, it was tough. It was a tough thing to do. I got a little bubble in there and I hope it doesn't make a boo-boo, so it shouldn't though. There's a lot of screen in this first layer of chalk. So once you get that first thin layer down, you're gonna wanna peel it up and peel away, and you have your first layer of your truck. Okay, we're gonna set this aside, clean the transfer, because we always must clean the transfer. Transfers are our friends. So find your microfiber cloth, and I'll tell you what, I've had these for a long time and I just love them. Find your microfiber cloth and then get some water and just give it a big spray. Use your mister. Now I will tell you that my mister is packed away. I'm getting ready to go on a event in Georgia, so maybe I'll meet some of you guys at Vintage Market Days. I can't wait to get back together though again with Scrapbook Expo. Oh my goodness, in person is always the best. I love meeting you guys and seeing your faces and taking your pictures with me. I have one lady who she was so sweet. She's like, I just have to take a picture with you. And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. So yeah, I would love to hug your neck, just so you know, because customers are important. You have value and you are so important to me. So that's it. That's how we clean it. And then we put it right back on its backer, and it's sticky to shiny. So always put the shiny side of your backer. So look here, let me show you on this one. Now, whenever you start a new transfer or whenever you peel it from the backer, do what I call as a Band-Aid roll. You just roll your finger, okay? And you see how that one's shiny and that one's not shiny? So shiny goes to sticky, just like that, okay? So when you put it back, now let's dry this real quick. And we have 3 layers to do on this because, you know, buffalo plaid isn't only for Christmas. I mean, think about it. Valentine's Day, Easter, summer, you can do it in yellows and oranges. Fall, you have the browns and orange. So much fun, y'all. Okay. And oops, see how that's not dry? So we want to make sure that this is totally dry before we chalk over it, because it will lift off if we chalk over it and it's not dry. So always see, I just stuck my fingers right there really good on those. It's okay, thank goodness we're chalking over it, right? No one will see it. Ah, there are no mistakes with chalk couture, you guys. So the best thing is that if you don't like it, you just simply wash it away and start again. So with this chalk, what's really cool is that I can actually see it drying in front of me. Usually I don't have a problem with it drying because the ceiling fans are always on up here, and I'm all the time having to work real fast before it dries to pull it up, right? But tonight's chilly, so our ceiling fans are going the other way. So I have to work a little, it's like slower. So this is the buffalo plaid that comes with our winter add-on for our truck. We have different add-ons. So what's really neat is if you want to get this whole truck set, you get the original truck for free from me if you order from me. So you just have to shoot me a message and say, Mary Jo, I want the vintage truck set. And that comes with all 4 seasons. And then you get that vintage truck free from me, because you can use the vintage truck in all your seasons. And this is our Shimmer White. And what I find is that since I'm doing a layer here, I want to work quickly. I don't want it to really get wet again. So the bigger the strokes, the better on this, because you just want to go fast and a thin coat. Just like that. Put your rest away. Now, if I were here working by myself, this would probably already be done. Because it's really that easy, guys. Look at that. We have a cute little buffalo plaid truck. Isn't that cute? I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. I love it. So, and this one, since it's pink, we could even use this one for Easter. We'll just have to change out what's in the trunk, right? Because the neat thing with the vintage truck is that we can change out the trunk, and I'll show you how that works. So let's dry this up because we got one more layer. We've got to make this a truck yet. And then we're gonna I'm gonna show you a new technique on how to do what I call the 3-finger method, or you can call it a messy ombre or whatever you want to call it. I've been doing that for forever, since before the company started. So a little bit about me. If you don't know about me, I've been with Chalk Couture since before the company started. I'm one of the premier founding designers of the company. So it's been such a fun ride, and I'm getting ready. I earned a trip to Fiji, but Fiji is closed, right? So I've earned all the trips. A couple cruises, and let's see, where else did we go? Maya Riviera. Oh, I gotta make sure I'm lining this up. So I'm gonna line up my truck bed here. And my wheels. My wheels are the important thing. I want to cover up that pink with that big area. And so, since Fiji's closed, guess where we're going? We're going to Maui. I love Maui. Maui's like my favorite place of every place. All things happy. I want to put some brown on that wood there. I'm not sure if this will work. It's kind of a little coppery brown, so I'm gonna put this on the wood. Just gonna do it right here. It'll look cute for what we're doing. And it's a copper, kind of a goldy brown. And I'm gonna do a little here and a little here. Just like that, just to add a little bit of different color. Oh, and I can do a little right here. And it'll add a little, we can add a little rusty look too if we wanted, just like that. Just add a little rust. You gotta have that vintage look, right? And then we're gonna add the white on top, not the shimmer white, but the regular white this time. We're gonna do just a regular white. And even though these tires, you might want to think that they should be black or gray. You could do them black or gray, but I'm going to do them white. Number one, for the sake of time. Number two, because I like the way it looks. Because I've done this before, just so you know. I know, it's hard to imagine doing this. So anyways, our company is 3.5 years old. We launched July 1st, 2017. And I started with them in 2016. So it's been such a fun ride. And I cannot wait to go to Maui because that is like the happy place that I love. So hopefully we will get to do that and people won't be too crazy. Look at that. What? Doesn't that look good? You guys, we're doing great here. And we're running good on time so far. So let's get that going. Oh, my roof. I missed putting my roof on, guys. So if this happens to you and you forget your roof, you just kind of line it back up. You see that? I missed my whole top of my roof. Where's my white? Goodness me, Mary Jo. You were talking about Maui. You see what happens? Talk about Maui and you forget about the roof of your truck. So sad, sad times happening right there for this poor little truck. For me, it's gonna be great, but you know, for the truck, just saying. Okay, can't have a roofless truck. Well, I guess it could be a convertible. It's gonna look very vintage there right now, and I can come back later after I clean the transfer and just add that. But I wanna go ahead and dry it first, okay? So we're gonna add a truckload of hearts. So here's the great thing. So say you wanted to use this for Easter and it has the hearts on here, you would simply just wash whatever you have here, which will be the hearts, wash that off, and then you can just put your Easter on, and it's eggs and stuff like that. So that would be fun. And then we'll wash this and I'll show you the fun to fix all that so that it works better. All right, so now we have our hearts here. Aren't they cute? I gotta hold them up. I'm working upside down, y'all. It's kind of hard. But it's okay, it's because I love you. So you line up the bottom and you leave a little bit of a space there because especially if you might want to clean it up, clear it off. Now I am going to do something that I'm going to show you that it won't clean off because I can put a little heart right here if I wanted. I could put just love. I could put anything I want to do another layer over the truck. I could do that. Okay, so the colors I'm going to use for the hearts, I'm going to use 3. I'm going to use Peachy Keen, which is this color right here. It's kind of it's very, very light pink and a little bit of orange. More of a flesh tone. Very pale flesh tone. But that's okay. We have that color. And then, oh, I was gonna add, oh, we could put some teal hearts in there. I toned down our Couture teal a little bit. I added some white to it. And then I'm going to use a little bit of candy apple on there. Let me go ahead and, this needs some water. So let me add just a little water to the candy apple. And like I said, I would usually use my mister, but my mister is in a box in my U-Haul. When I come to shows, you guys, I bring all the things. I love it. And the shows are happening in Georgia and Florida, all the states that are open. I was in Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina. A lot of fun. Okay, so here's where we get to get messy if you want to. If you don't want to get messy, you don't have to. Oops, I got a little bit. Get that off. There we go. So I do what I call the 3-finger method. So I'm going to literally dip my finger in here. I'm going to dip my middle finger in this one. And then I'm going to dip my other finger here. I know, this is where I get to have fun. Okay, so I have my 3 colors and I'm just gonna simply dot them around. My 3-finger method. And then I'm gonna do my middle finger. Now, if it grosses you out, just stick your finger in chalk paste, it's okay. You can take and just use a little stir stick or something. If you want, or use 3 different squeegees, that's okay. Yeah, I won't judge you. It's all good. I'm telling you, everybody has their thing. Then just wipe it off, you know. To me, that's kind of fun. I just like doing weird things. Can't help it. It's kind of my thing. So, and you can tell that it's kind of thicker, right? Now, we're just going to simply take and get the red off of your thumb, Mary Jo. Okay, I got a big chunk of red there. Now we're just going to take simply a squeegee and smear it. And you can smear it in angles or different ways, however you want to smear it. And then the bad part of doing this is you're gonna have a big wad of paste that you gotta waste because it doesn't really have a color. I mean, it is a pretty color because of that blue and the pink in there. But just wipe that off on your towel and then throw that towel into the laundry like we already did before. And look here. Oh, isn't that sweet? So we have our loads of, and I'm gonna put loads of here. And I need to dry this. Look at that teal. I love the teal. Got a little water there. And I'm gonna, then we're gonna have loads of written out. Loads of love. It is so good. Let's do the loads here, the loads of real quick, and then we will be done. And I'm gonna put that right here, and I'm gonna do it in white. Just because it's the right thing to do, I gotta hurry. Okay, so remember that my chalk specials are all listed, and I would love to sit and chat with you guys. If you have any questions, remember that when you shop with me, you get all my expertise. You can message me, call me, ask me all the things. Well, you know, all things chalk, you know. Don't be all weird and crazy, but that's all good. There we go. And we are done. Look at how pretty that looks, you guys. We did it, we did it. What? Okay, so loads of love. What do you think? Don't you love Chalkature? And so then when we're done with this and we don't want loads of love, we can simply wash off the loads of love, wash off the hearts, and put our Easter up. Yay! So it's been great chalking with you tonight. Please visit me at www.chatandchalk.com, and I will have a list here of everything I used tonight so that you can just click and shop and have a great time. Okay, until I see you next time, have a Merry, Merry Christmas. Have a Happy Hanukkah and enjoy your holidays. Bless. Aloha.
Hi everybody, I'm Anne from Faith and Art Shop, and tonight we are at our house instead of at the bookstore to film this because it's been really crazy busy at the bookstore, which is great, but that also means that we have to do it here where it's nice and quiet. But anyhow, so Merry Christmas everybody and Happy Holidays. I know that we are getting close to Christmas, so I wanted to remind you that we do have Christmas and Advent items in our shop. But today I want to talk about some other things that are appropriate for this time of the year, but might not be exactly what you're thinking about at Christmas time. So we have a collection at the store called All People, All Nations, and it's from Illustrated Faith, and I really, really like it. And so what I've been thinking about a lot lately are the words that the angels said when they were announcing the birth of Jesus to the shepherds in Bethlehem. And that is from Luke. So we'll have a quick little lesson today. The angel said, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace among those whom he is well pleased." So I've been thinking a lot about peace on earth and bringing joy. And I thought maybe this would be really fun to tie in this collection with the peace on earth. So, because we could all use a little peace on earth right now, right? I'm having a little personal summer right now, ladies. You know what I'm talking about? Anyhow. Sorry. But I wanted to show you some scrapbook papers that are in this All People, All Nations collection, and then show you some of the tools that we have in the shop so that you can make a collection. And also some of these scripture journals. So if you like to do Bible journaling, then you can use one of these to kind of document some of your stuff. So anyhow, let me show you the paper that's in this collection. Okay, so everything is double-sided, and this will be good not just for Christmas, of course, but if you travel a lot or you're involved in anything overseas, like missions or, oh my gosh, we're at our house, that's a bug. Anyway, so yeah, but if you travel a lot or whatever, maybe next year, maybe not in 2020. So anyhow, this one is kind of like a stylized map. And then on the reverse side, because all these papers are double-sided and really nice, heavyweight, beautiful paper, they're 99 cents on our site, but they are, they'll be on sale with the code that we're using, which is Mary25. So you're gonna get 25% off everything on the shop between now and January 1st, okay? So yeah, Mary25. So anyhow, so that's one set. This one is so pretty, and it's just so sweet. So it says Hope, and then on the other side, Shane is our cameraman today. This is just a really beautiful, vibrant blue. So there's that. And this is I don't know, this is a fan favorite. These are called the 3x4s and the borders paper, because you can cut these little pieces out and use them as tip-ins in your Bible or in your scrapbook, or even like that, it's kind of sideways. You can use them as a centerpiece of a card, and that's really fun. And then you can cut these strips and make chains, or just use them as a border on your paper. So we've got that. Oh, I didn't show you the other side. That's really pretty too. So, and then this one is called My Foundation. So it almost looks like building blocks or bricks. So you could use this with your kids. All right, so there's that. And then, oops. This one is really beautiful. So I'm going to show you something that we can do artistically to kind of mimic this design. So we'll do that in our in this journal in a minute. And you don't have to use a Bible or, oh, thank you. That's the reverse side. You can use a sketchbook or an art book, just a notebook, whatever. I think, have we gone through everything? Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. But anyhow, so I'm just gonna show you a couple tips and techniques, okay? So, with this paper, because I really like this one, and I know that I can show you some layouts and things like that, but I just want to show you something really simple for a simple 1 or 2 page scrapbook layout. So in our shop, we also have these paint pens. These are calligrapher paint pens. We have them in gold, silver, and copper. So I brought the copper out because I just really like the look of the copper against this blue. It's kind of like a patina. So now when you use this in your scrapbook, of course, just go ahead and trim off that top piece. And you know that with paint pens, you kind of shake them side to side, and then you prime them if they need primed. But with ours, I have pre-primed it. So, I might not do this upside down, but when you use this, if you can see the pen nib, it's flat on one side. So that's how you can get kind of a calligraphy look. And I showed you in another video, but I'll show you again, how you can do kind of a fake calligraphy. And it's all just a trick of the pen. Okay, so you can take your pen, and we're gonna write peace on earth in the ocean here, okay? So we're gonna write it in cursive. So downstroke is wide, upstroke is narrow, and then you can do that. So we're gonna just kind of write in cursive. This is probably gonna end up being a little crooked. But we wanna go back down and thicken up that downstroke, okay? So thicken up where it has a downstroke, and that'll give it kind of a cooler look. That's how you can kind of be fancy, okay? So then we want to write on, that's a little word, so we just kind of write it smaller, a little up. Having the pen designed like this is nice because it kind of gives you that wide look anyhow. But if you're using just a regular round point pen, then you can just go and thicken up that line just by making a double line and coloring it in. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're gonna do our earth here. Sorry, I know it sounds weird, huh? It's a very loud pen. Here, give our H a little loop. So we're gonna thicken up that T. R, I'm a little hard. Okay, so there we go. We're gonna just thicken up those downstrokes. Okay, but you can see that nice reflection on there. I love these pens. So there's that. Oops. And then, so in this collection, there are some stamps. So there's, these are just the peel stamps, but there's a globe, the word United, and then some flowers and some specks and then kind of a stripe. So you could make some stripes, and I'll show you that on here too. But anyhow, so the word United, I'm going to take one of these Distress Oxides. We'll use Milled Lavender because it's kind of the lightest one, and I just want to show you what this looks like when it's on your scrapbook paper. So, all right. Because it just happens to fit the same size as the kind of the United States on here. So, oops, I didn't get the middle of the T. Oh. All right. And so that's kind of cool. I just like playing with that one. Now, since this is scrap of paper, obviously you're going to put your pictures on there. We can cut up some little borders and use some washi. This collection has a really nice washi tape too. And it says, all the nations on earth are blessed. And it's about that big of a pattern repeat. So, just realized I didn't bring my scissors in, so this is going to have kind of a rough look. But, okay, so the next thing I want to show you before I take this down. This is a collection of tip-ins. So they're basically like journal blocks, and they have double-sided too. So you can use these with your pictures and write different thoughts and captions on there, okay? So in this case, I'm just going to put hand in hand on here. Oops. And then we can just lay this down with washi tape. Okay, so this is just a really simple layout, and I know you guys can come up with cleverer ideas. And then the other thing I want to show you are some metallic metallic colored pencils. Okay, so these just have a nice sheen to them too. So you can even shadow in some of these letters with a little bit of that pencil. You always kind of pick one direction to shadow, and that just made me think of, it was our daughter's birthday yesterday, and so her favorite band is One Direction. So if we ever said the word direction, there are a lot of directions, she would always say there's only one direction. Anyhow, that's been years ago, as you can tell, 2015. All right. Anyway, so that's just a little fun thing. So these metallic colored pencils are really nice in card making and other types of coloring too, but there's a whole collection of them right over there. So, okay, so that's just a little quick, easy 12 by 12 playable layout. And now I want to show you what we can do in the Bible with this collection too, or a scripture journal. Now, the scripture journal is basically one book of the Bible, and it has the Bible scripture on one side, okay? And it has a blank side over here so that you can reflect on what you've read, or you can do artistic journaling, or you can take sermon notes, whatever. But anyhow, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to highlight this Glory to God in the Highest. And I told you I was going to try to show you a little bit of this design and a way to kind of play with that. So with this collection, I've pulled together 4 different gelatos, and we'll have these available in our shop kind of as our own little collection. Because gelatos kind of come in a bigger set usually, so you get about, what, 12? Oh my gosh, I forget. I think there are 12 colors in a set of like $24.99. But I had pulled together some colors that I really liked, and I've got like 50 sets of these 4 colors. So this would be $7.99 for the 4, and then you'll get 25% off, okay? So what these are is a color infused pigment that's water soluble. It's really cool. It looks like a chapstick, but like I've said 100 times, don't put it on your lips. It's non-toxic, but it's just not recommended. So anyhow, what we're gonna do here is we are just going to scribble, okay? So we're remembering the verse here, okay? This is what the angel said. So I'm trying to think of, like, if you imagine that night sky in Bethlehem and all these angels and how colorful and bright it must have been, it's kind of fun to think about that. So, but the message wasn't just, and okay, I love this color so much because I don't know if you can see that, but there's like pink and gold in it. It's really, really cool. So I love it. But yeah, the message wasn't just for a select few people, even though a select few people heard it at the time, but the message was for everybody for all time. And that is kind of awesome. So there was a lot to be celebrating that night. So I know this just looks like a big, crazy, scribbly mess right now, but I want to show you what happens when we scribble all together. Okay. And I'm just going to add some over here. Why? Because I can. Yeah. Okay, so then you take a baby white, and then what we're going to do is just start blending this, okay? Now there are a lot of colors that I've started with, so I'm going to just try to do the darker pink at first, and then I'm going to blend everything more together in a minute. But I didn't want to get everything mushy yet. Okay, so now we're going to take that gold and blend that. We can fill in some of the spots that are left white from the scribbling, okay? So there's that pretty rose gold, and we're just going to blend that. You see, it just like makes a natural progression there. And now this blue, look at that, isn't it? It's just fun and pretty. And so we're going to get a little bit of green, and it's just color blending like you do. Okay? So there is that. So it almost picks up a little bit of what's going on here. So then, I started this project. I want to see what I did. Yeah. So then again, we've got, I better hurry up. I'm gabbing too much. Okay, so then you could take this washi tape again, if you wanted to. You could do that. And that just finishes off the top of your paper. And again, we could do our United, but this time we use ground espresso. Whoops. So will my paints. But I didn't wipe off my my stamp, so we might get a little bit of milled lavender. Okay. So we got that. And then that is on my paints. there's actually a sticker in this collection. These are clear stickers. So this one says on earth as it is in heaven. So I'm going to put that here. And use my pen. And just real quick, I'm going to write glory to God. I'm going to write peace on earth. And this is a Pitt pen, so if you have a brush tip pen, you can use that. And then again, we've got these. I don't think we're going to use that one necessarily. Back. I just want to get love. All right, so using our tape roller, the tape runner, just put that on there. And I think that's kind of all I need to do. Although, this is kind of cool, and maybe it's just simple, but this is just like a swoosh stamp. So you just put it on, and then you can get all your different colors and make even designs, which is kind of fun. And then I could use the speckled egg and just mix it all up with my very unskilled hands. All right, so there is that. So anyhow, that's just some stuff you can do. The other scripture journal I wanted to show you, this one is called the Illuminated Scripture Journal. And so it's basically the exact same thing as this, except they've added, instead of a black cover, here's a basic black cover. It's the same price as this one. This one has like a gold embossed cover, but it also has some gold detail and some illustrations throughout, which is just really cool. So it's just a nice little gift. But they're available in every book and way. So anyhow, I know that there's a lot that I chat about most of the time, but I just wanted to remind you that it's a good time to be joyful, and I know there's a lot going on, but everything is going to be okay, and you're going to be okay, and next year is going to be better. So I hope that you have a great day, and remember our shop is faithandartshop.com, and our code is Mary25, and you'll get 25% off the whole shop, okay? So, oh, and I wanted to tell you this too. This Bible is on sale right now. This journaling Bible, it's normally $54, and you get it for $44.97. I think that's it. Okay. See you later. Bye.
Hi my crafty friends, I'm Trisha Morris at Club Scrap, and welcome to another Stampin' Scrapbook at Home event. I'm really excited to be showing a handmade book today that I think you'll find very easy to learn and to create for yourself. Let's get started. We'll be making this gorgeous triple folio book. It's actually got 3 sections, and then I do have the special D-ring closure. Now I've made this book from a half of a Club Scrap page kit, and even though it's a musical theme, I think it's very, very neutral. I plan to use this for pictures from a wedding that I'm going to be attending, and it just is so beautiful and striking. The book I'm going to make with you now, I haven't made yet. I'm going to make it with you, and I'm using Club Scrap's Prism collection. So basically everything in here is enough material to make 2 of these projects, plus you'll need the folios and then a D-ring closure. As far as tools, we're going to start out with our Fiskars guillotine trimmer and the classic Club Scrap accordion pocket file to help us keep all of our parts and pieces organized while we trim our papers. So my instructions call for select papers A, B, C, D, E, and F, and all Club Scrap kits contain 2 each of 6 different papers. So from the Prism collection, I've chosen the light blue, a red, a yellow, a dark blue, and then a print and another print. And I actually have all of that right in my kit. Plus I'm going to be using about half of the cut aparts in here so I can get 2 books out of just this one kit. You'll also need to select the ribbon of your choice. So I'm choosing, and this was right in the collection as well, this beautiful metallic black gross grain ribbon. For now, we have a whole bunch of trimming we need to do to prepare our paper for the book. Now, as with many Club Scrap kits, before we trim, we determine the grain direction of something that we're going to be folding. So check the grain by holding the paper on its edge, study the behavior of the paper, rotate 1 turn. This paper here is very stiff. It does not want to bend. This does want to bend, and therefore I want you to place it into the trimmer so it bends easily from top to bottom. I'm going to start out by trimming at 11.5 inches. Now what helps me be successful here is this clear bar. It's unique to this trimmer, keeps the paper in place, and gives you a much straighter cut. Okay, then slide down to 10 inches. And then 5 inches. Nice, easy numbers. Now take this longer piece and set it aside to be scored. And then I'm going to take this next 5 by 12 and trim horizontally at 10 and 5. As you now know with me, every project begins with some trimming. And we're going to file these into one of 4 pockets. Each pocket plays a role in a step of the project. That way we don't have all these pieces all over the place to figure out. So take one of these squares and put it in pocket B or pile B, and then the other square in pile or pocket D. Now I have this narrow strip. It's 1.5 by 12. I'm going to cut it at 8 and 4. And it just creates these 3, I'm going to call them flags, 3 little strips. Those are going to go in pocket C. The other pieces that remain are scraps that can be used to embellish our book later, so I'm going to keep a separate pile for those. Now the next 2 papers are also trimmed in the same way, so we'll process both at the same time. Make sure your grain is dipping top to bottom, and we will repeat that whole process. This is the dark blue from the Prism collection. So bear with me here while we finish up our trimming. We'll cut at 9 3/4 and 5. Grain direction doesn't matter so much with this piece. And then 10 on the horizontal and 5. All right, one of these goes in B, the other in D. Next strip, we'll trim at different measurements. This is going to be 9.5 and 4 3/4. Both of these will go in pocket A. And then we have this other section. This needs to be scored, so I'm going to set that aside. Here we have that scrap from earlier. This is the 2 by 5. Okay, now we're going to trim a bunch of squares here. This is for decorative purposes later on. So we'll trim at 11 1/4, 9, 6 3/4, 4 1/2, 2 1/4. So we just made a whole bunch of squares for decorating later, and then 1 little scrap. So I'll throw the scrap away and set the squares aside. They don't have a pocket right now. The cutting diagrams contain the letters, and the letters assign the papers to the appropriate pocket. I like to do all my trimming first and then go on to the scoring and then the assembly. Grain direction on this one is important. Make sure your paper dips easily top to bottom on your first print, and we'll cut at 10 and 5. Now you just created 2 5 by 12s. We're going to stack and rotate them so they're horizontal and cut at 10. Set these 2 pieces aside to be scored. And then these are scraps for decorative purposes later. And now let's make some squares to go with our other squares. So we're going to trim this on all the even numbers: 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2. Again, these can be set aside, and if you would like, you may pair them with the dark or the paper D you made earlier to see how they nest. 1 more paper to trim. Grain doesn't matter so much. So I'm going to cut at 9 1/4 and 4 3/4. Then rotate and cut at 9 1/2, and 4 3/4. I'm sure I'm going way too fast for you. That's okay. Just sit back and kind of watch how this all goes down. Put one of these in pocket B and the other in pocket C. This gets scored, so I'll set that aside. You have another larger strip here. We'll cut at 9 and 4 1/2. These two pieces go in pocket A. And then we do have this larger piece that can set aside on our scrap pile. And then I'm going to trim this last strip at 10 and 5. These will be used for decorative purposes as well as the skinny guy. Set him aside. The good news is we're done trimming and now it's time to do a little scoring. First I want you to find the two smaller pieces. I am right-handed, so if you're right-handed, try this. We need to score a 1/2 inch from just 3 edges of this paper. And scoring a 1/2 inch from this side is a little bit precarious, but if you do it from this side, so place your paper all the way to the right and vertically and score at 11 1/2. Then rotate, score at 11 1/2 again, and then the other horizontal 11 1/2. We have a U-shaped set of score lines, but we were able to score more comfortably. So again, 3 sides at 11 1/2. Recreates a score line that would have taken place at 1/2. The print is going to go into pocket B and the plain will go in pocket D. We're going to take the 2 prints that we have that are 5 by 10. We're going to score these plain side up. So I'm scoring at 5 on the horizontal. And both of these will go in pocket A. We have some very special scoring to do on these 5 by 12s. These are going to be scored a number of times at 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we're going to flip the paper from the bottom to the top and we'll score at 5 1/2, 6 1/2, and 7 1/2. Repeat that same process for the remaining 2 pieces. And then you can insert a paper into one of each of the pockets. So just pick one for pocket B, one for C, and one for D. So to start, I have these awesome folios, and each one has an angled pocket and then an envelope. And there are 2 score lines. So what you want to do is just go ahead and fold on the prescribed score line. Make sure that the edges are lined up because this is basically the foundation of your book. Now in pocket A, I'm just going to remove everything that's in there. I have 2 5 by 10s that have been scored. There is a bump of a score. That bump gets buried on the inside of the fold, and that is why I had you score the paper in the direction I did. Take one of these envelopes, make sure it's right side up, and close it. Then just double check your print. So if there's an orientation, just kind of pay attention to that. Now I'm using Club Scrap's bookbinding glue, which is extremely sturdy and perfect for making books. It's very long lasting, but what's nice about it is when it's wet, it gives you the opportunity to make fine-tune adjustments. So as I lay this on the folio, you want to make sure that this fold line is flush with the edge of the folio fold. If it's not, your book won't open and close properly. So now here's the other half. I'm calling this a hinge page, okay? So the other half of the hinge page just needs a little adhesive. And then I'm going to take another folio, pockets on the right, so it's right side up. I'm going to lay this down on top of my glued page. Make sure my folios are aligned. But then before the glue dries, and again, this is why you want to use a wet glue for this process, just make sure that you don't require any kind of adjusting. And I just slid just a little bit to make that nice and neat on the inside. Pick another piece of paper, choose how you want it to work. I'm going to apply adhesive to the paper, not to the folio. Center it flush with the folded edge. Apply the glue to this and install the third folio on top. Now I've double checked the grain direction of my ribbon. If you didn't already know this, ribbon does have a grain and has a direction it wants to go. So I'm going to insert my ribbon onto the 2 D-rings so that it's wrapping around with the grain. And I'm going to place this is on the back side of an old mouse pad. I'm going to use a craft knife to just sort of pierce through my ribbon. Then the brad that comes in the hardware kit will more easily slide into that pierced slit that you made. Okay, so now that the brad is through, I'll turn it over. Now the prongs are too wide for my ribbon. So I'm just going to turn them in. They're quite pliable actually. So I'll turn it in and it'll almost look sort of like a staple. This is a nice sturdy, stable closure for us, ready to go. Next, I'm going to take the closure and place it on the front center of my book. Run the tail of the ribbon through both D-rings. This is like a belt from the 1980s. I'm not sure how many of you recall this type of a belt. I wore a lot of these. And then run it back through one of those D-rings. And now we have a really nice closure. Now flip the whole book over. And then we have these dark colored mats. I'll just put a little bookbinding glue in the back of this one. And I'll center that onto the back of my folio. There's going to be another decorative piece. This one is pretty plain, but it's okay. Again, this is the Prism collection. It's a really pretty print. Now, turn the book back over. Release the clasp, open, and then add the nested panels to the front in the same way. So there you have the folio itself is assembled, and now it's time to move on to page 3 of our instructions where we can see the individual assembly process for each folio in the trifold book. So when I empty the contents of pocket B, you'll find the scored paper. Bury the bump of every single score that we have created by folding in. Here's the bump. I'm going to fold in on that. And then there's the bump goes the other way. Basically, I'm fan folding this, or accordion folding. I always say I became a pro at this when I was little and I was in church and had to be quiet, and I would just fan fold my church bulletin. Okay, so when I open this back up, you'll notice there's a larger area and a smaller area. Take the small area, now this is the first folio in my set of 3, and slide that into the pocket. Now the angled pocket, well, you'll easily be able to just scoot that in there, and then just arrange the 3 flaps of the spine right in the middle. Now you have a total of 4 sheets of paper here. I'm going to take the dark colored, and I'm going to just install this into the left inside cover. And I'll just use my standard ATG adhesive for this. If you're not using an ATG, I can't recommend it enough. It's very efficient and affordable, especially if you're a prolific crafter like I am. Okay, and then we do have in the same pocket yet another print that we can now layer onto this blue. And I like that when you open the book, they're square, so you can just decide how you want it. When you open the book, you see some color flash right your way. So beautiful. Okay, now we have these 3 pages, and we're going to install these onto each of these accordion flaps. To do that, I will once again use my liquid glue to allow for some movement if I need it. So here is the last flap, or the last accordion fold. And I'm just going to tuck that right in there, make sure it's square. If you would prefer to use a dry adhesive, you can certainly do that here. I just like to be able to have a little time to make my adjustments and give it a second to burnish. It doesn't take long. And then lastly, I'll finish with this one. Now, there's one more piece in your pocket. This is the one we scored. So I'm going to take my scissors and clip away the corners where the intersecting score lines meet. Just clip that away in a wide V shape. Bring the side flaps in first on those score lines, and then fold up the long flap. I do that last so the item doesn't get caught on the pocket tab. And I like to just kind of tack down the U-shaped pocket, add a little glue, and pick a page. I think I'm going to do this page just because I can add some color to this. It's so colorful. All right, that was pocket B. Now C, it looks a little bit different. C has all these gorgeous colors. I'm going to begin by repeating the accordion or fan fold process here on this. So burying those bumps and make the accordion spine. Then open to the second folio, slide the short end into the pocket and the long end into the angled pocket. And then just straighten out the spine a little bit. And look what we have here, all these little flags. Now what I'm going to do is just start arranging them in 3 rows and 3 columns. And I'm going to alternate the colors kind of in an interesting way. So I'm going to start out with the 3rd column, the 1st row, and I'm going to put some adhesive on the edge of this flag, and I'm going to place it onto the back flap of my accordion spine, just down a little bit from the top edge. Then I'm going to take the bottom flag from the 3rd column and put it on top of the flap close to that bottom edge. Okay, this is the 3rd pleat of the accordion, front of the pleat, top and bottom. Now I have this guy for the middle, so I'm going to put a little adhesive on the edge, and this one I'm going to put on the back of the pleat. A little different. Okay, so that completes the 3rd pleat. Now we're going to move to the 2nd pleat of our accordion, and I'll begin by attaching the pages in the exact same way. So front of the pleat for the top row, front of the pleat for the bottom row, the back side of that 2nd pleat for the 3rd row, and I think I got my colors mixed. There we go. Make sure these flags line up with the flags that you've previously installed. Isn't that fun how when you turn the pages then it sort of cascades in a unique way? Love that. Next I'm going to take this beautiful print and I will install this onto the facing page so that when you open to it you'll have lots of a nice splash of color. Now I'm turning to the 3rd page, and guess what I'm going to do now? Empty pocket D. Same drill, bury all the bumps of those score lines so that you can have your accordion pleated spine. And then install it into the 3rd folio. This constructs very much like the other one. I'm going to take the darkest paper color that I've specified and install this on the left plain side of the folio. Then install the pages in any order you wish. Next, you'll still have another pocket, so miter the corners, fold the tabs in, make sure long flap goes in last, and then tack it down into one of the pages of your choice. Now with this much completed of the project, you have your full structure of the book. All the pages have been installed. The only thing left to do is decorate. And for that, you have this pile of all of these wonderful little strips, prints, all the scraps that I had you save, and all of these are going to be perfect for embellishing and adding more color and more layers. Then you have this set of awesome nestable squares. Plus, with any Club Scrap kit, you also will have all of these cut-aparts that can then be added. Now, to review, this book is not yet complete. It still needs to be decorated. But I have gone ahead and used my cut-aparts from this beautiful noise collection to make this gorgeous book. And you can see where I implemented the pockets. I used photo mats from the kit. There's my nested squares. Quotes from the cut-aparts. I love this. I stretched out a long quote across 3 of the flags. I added some tags that were included. So much fun and completely ready for pictures. I have one other completed project to show you, and it's this beautiful book, and it's an all-inclusive project. It has the twill, the D-ring, the brad, all of the embellishments that are designed to literally fit onto all of these pages is included right in the kit. So you don't have to adapt anything. I've designed this all just for you, for everything to fit. And this is a beautiful book, perfect for adventures, maybe a day trip, any kind of travel, anything masculine. It would be a great dad book. What a great project for a guy. I hope you enjoyed this little bookmaking journey with me, and you can definitely check out, I'll try to post a picture of my finished Prism album. I think it's going to be absolutely smashing, and I love all those bright, fun colors. But whatever theme you're working on, whatever reason or season, Club Scrap has a kit for you that you can transform into this beautiful book. Be sure to check out our website landing page I've made just for you. It's clubscrap.com/SSBE 1220. And that's also the shopping code. The link will match the shopping code, which will get you free shipping on orders over $50. And if you just join during the next week, we will also give you a kit to make your very own accordion pocket file organizer. Those are for new members. So thank you again for joining me. Thanks SSBE at Home for hosting these awesome events, and we'll see you next time.
Welcome back, everybody, and I'll tell you what, Chocateur, I mean, what an adorable project, and
Beautiful.
the truck has been such a popular I'm going to say figure these last couple years, but we saw that layering of the colors and
the white over the layer. I thought that was amazing, and I love the tip that she did with the teal, and she kind of added white to make it more subdued, I guess.
Yeah, so you can kind of mix your own colors, and having that truck, and then you can buy those add-ons for all the different seasons.
Yes.
And I loved her technique, like using her finger and then blending. I think it would be easier to use, the finger instead of the squeegees, especially for that. And then you can get real specific where you want your colors to,
right? And
then blend it in.
And then just think about how fun that would be for like your day, like going back to finger painting.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, like I know we're all going back to
mental health process.
Yes, that would be fun.
Yes.
So great project, and you're going to check them out because I know they have some great shopping and great special.
Yes. Okay, so if you purchase 2 vintage truck seasonal add-on transfers, you will get the vintage truck transfer free from me, which is her.
That's right. Who? Mary Jo.
Mary Jo.
Jo. That's a great That's
exactly,
very nice.
And that will expire on January 30th.
Great.
2021. That's weird to say.
Yeah, we got to figure out which year it is now. Well, thank you so much, Mary Jo. And then Faith and Art. Those. She's just has that glowing and loving about her. And boy, Peace on Earth, that certainly is what we need right now, and we're going to get Peace on Earth for sure. And that illustrated Faith collection that she was using was just beautiful, covered the world, and I loved her when she I loved the collection, so versatile. You can use it, like she said, with traveling, or if you want, you can do, your scriptures, or whatever you want on that.
I love that paper too. That paper that showed kind of like it kind of looked like the globe, because sometimes you forget to pray for all the countries, the world, and especially during this time right now. That's a great reminder to just keep, it's a visual to say, pray for all the countries. It's like we are all in this together, right? And we're going to be okay, like she said. But I love that whole illustrated faith line, the washi, the stamps, that cool metallic paint pen. Yeah, the paint pens I liked, and the metallic colored pencils. I'm a colored penciler now, so I might have to grab a couple of those. Oh, that was just beautiful. I thought that was really neat, and I loved the Bible journaling. What was that, devotional or notebook or whatever? Yeah, I want that. Yes. For the new year, I'm gonna really try to like scripture journal. Yes, scripture journal. Yes. I thought that was really pretty how she did it. It was just like so fun, and I think, I want that. Yeah, and well, in the gelatos, and the gelatos, what a great, using the colors you like and then doing a blending. It made a beautiful, another way of doing their background. With just a baby wipe. Yeah, no mess. You don't have to get out a bunch of other stuff. I love mixed media, and I love people that can do it, but for me, I like everything real. You like to try. I was worried about the paper behind, but if you just use a baby wipe, it won't saturate that paper that much. Exactly. So that, I want to try. Yes. Yeah, so check them out. And I'm glad they said they've been really busy, so that's great to keep supporting those small businesses for sure. Yes, absolutely. And everybody needs a new Bible for the new year, right? Yes. Okay, so Faith and Art Shop at Logos Bookstore is offering 25% off. Free shipping on orders over $45 using code MERRY25, which is MERRY25, and that will expire on January 1st, 2021. All right, so check them out, the Faith and Art at Logos Bookstore for sure. Yes. So, and then we have the beautiful one and only Tricia from Club Scrap. The original. I think I always call it the original. Kit Club, and I just love how they just use every piece of paper in their kits, and she always has, she just had great techniques, and she's so good. All of
They have Karen that instructed for her at the shows and everything. They just have great instructors on and great tips of how to put things together and, you know, to get the most out of that box of goodies for
I
sure.
know,
So
that mini album.
yes.
So cute with those. Oh, I just want to.
I know.
I want to make it. It's just so awesome.
Yes.
And like
Yes.
you know me, I love a club, like a club that
Yes.
comes every month. It's
Yep.
like Christmas every month.
Yes. And with them, and you know, they it comes in that cute little pizza box, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything. So so you want to check them out for sure and do
yes.
some shopping
Yes.
and take advantage of their great special too.
Right. So Club Scrap is offering a free gift with a new membership, free shipping on orders over $50 using coupon code SSBE1220. Okay, and that offer will expire on December 26th, 2020.
Okay, so check them out. And also, just so you know, Club Scrap, we are having a phenomenal one of our spotlight events with Club Scrap.
Yes.
And that is going to be on December the 22nd.
Yes.
So still right before Christmas. And it's going to be from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. And let me tell you folks, only as of right now, today, they only have 7 kits left.
Oh my gosh.
So what you're going to do, you're going to jump over to our craftathomeevents.com website, and there's a link, and you're going to click on that, and you'll order the kit directly from them. But you'll want to really make sure that if you didn't want to click before, you want to do that now, because with only 7 kits, they're going to be gone, and especially with, you know,
I'm
Club
looking
Scrap,
at it right
so.
now, Dave,
I
online.
put the links in the chats in both
Oh, good.
YouTube and Facebook. For
Okay, the links are there, and you guys, I'm looking at the actual event on our website, and oh my gosh, there's 3 projects, 1 great event. Oh my gosh, you're gonna get 1 snap ring mini album, 1 set of greeting cards and a note card carrier, and 1 2-page spread, and it is beautiful.
Wow.
There's book covers, book boards by.
There might be 6 left
yeah,
after Vicki reads
I
it.
know. I'm like, what?
They're probably already gone.
Wait, go off. Let me order mine. No,
Hurry, Vicki.
I know. It's just, you guys, it's gonna showcase bundle includes the following contents with it's instructional download and video tutorial, and there are so many awesome techniques. The colors are beautiful. Oh my gosh. 7 left.
Yeah, so you better get it. But wait, there's more, because on January the 10th at 11 a.m., which is on a Saturday, scrap that. They're having a Disney event, and it's the Disney Bonanza Box. So you'll also want to go to the craftathomeevents.com, and you'll click on the link, and you'll be able to order that, and that'll come right from them. So, gosh, 2 fantastic spotlight events.
I'm looking at the scraps at Disney Day Bonanza. I'm sorry, I'm just so excited.
Hey, that's
4
good.
projects, 1 great event. Join Melissa for an afternoon of workshops and inspiration. There's going to be a Say Cheese Main Street Magical Card Kit. Makes 8 greeting cards. Say Cheese Main Street Magical Page Kit. You're going to make 2-page 12 by 12 layouts. Say Cheese Main Street 4 by 6 Flip Kit, and Say Cheese Main Street 6 by 8 Flip Kit. Oh my goodness.
That is a box o bonanza, isn't it? Boy,
and,
oh boy.
Oh my
box
God.
of Disney Bonanza.
I'm looking at it, you guys. It is amazing.
You want to check
It's going to
that
be
out.
so much fun.
Great,
yeah,
great.
it's awesome.
And Melissa does a great job as well. So check out both of those great spotlight events that we have coming up. And you know, Bob, we were just talking about Melissa and Bobby. They live on the East Coast, and boy, for all of our guests that live on the East Coast, you guys, I know you're digging yourself out, and we hope that you didn't lose power or get into any of those fender benders, because there's just a ton of snow. But gosh, a beautiful white Christmas. Oh, I know. Growing up in Ohio, that was always our thing. Are we going to have a white Christmas?
Yes.
And they got, I think they're having a white Christmas plus this year with all that snow.
Wow.
But it's so beautiful. I had one of my friends from high school that She and her husband just drove out in the country, and it was just so beautiful. So,
Oh, how nice.
so check those out, everybody. And it's time for our next presentation. So we will be back.
Hello friends, and welcome to richardgaray.com, also now going to be known as 88 and Clear. We're slowly transitioning to a rebrand for 88 and Clear, but we're super excited to be able to come live for you guys tonight, today, for this fun at-home event. I do have a couple of ladies here in the studio with me just so that it doesn't feel so lonely, so you might hear Ms. G and Ms. Shell in the background just participating in today's class, in today's workshop. But let's go ahead and switch over to that top view so that we can see what we're going to be working on today. Today I'm going to be using Sweet Nacho. He's actually one of my newest sets. It's a set of 16 stamps, and it can't be too early for Valentine's, is it? I know it's still December, but I thought by now for sure everybody's cards are done for Christmas. So I'm going to create a slimline blackout card featuring my Sweet Nacho stamp set. Now, from the last time we were able to go live to today, we've actually transitioned to red rubber. So a lot of my newer sets are coming in red rubber, and I've created a series of projects featuring the Sweet Nacho set that I'll show here at the end. So let's go ahead and get started here. We're creating a blackout card, which to me that means the front-facing background piece is black in my card, and everything else on top will be showcased a little bit brighter to brighten up my project. So I've got this stemmed bouquet in this set, and I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna grab a little pan pastel to give it a smokiness and also to try and remove some static. So I guess it's not technically 100% blackout card, but some of this powder is going to come off. It just helps remove some of the static. It also comes in a clear pan pastel. You can find it from various different vendors. So you can use that as part of your project. So we're going to go ahead and stamp using our powdered sugar cube. Kind of almost gives it a chalkboard look. Maybe come into the side here with this bouquet here. I'm now going to go ahead and grab just a few other elements in this set to add a little extra magic and sparkle. Some of them might be covered. Maybe some stars. So let me give you a little background on Nacho. One of our friends has one of these French bulldogs. Is that what they're called? And his name is Nacho. So I had to design a set that featured their little Nacho because he looks so cute, and what better set than a Valentine's set, right? All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna emboss this using some powdered sugar embossing powder. So we're going to go ahead and add our embossing powder here. Flicker off some of the powder, but if there's some powder still on there, I'm not as concerned because I'm still going to go back in and add a few more design elements to that. Let's go ahead and try to put some of that away. And now we're going to cook this. We have some really fun workshops coming up, some classes coming up, guys. If you guys would like to join us, as a matter of fact, this coming Monday the 19th, no, Monday the 21st, we are hosting a 5 for 5 workshop. You'll be able to find that under events on our shop, and it's only $5. You get an exclusive digital stamp set that comes along with that class, and we're going to meet on that Monday, and it's going to be fun. So if you have some time, if you don't have time to catch the live, you can always catch the replay and just simply create. It's a fun project share, a little bit more holiday based for maybe some last minute holiday project needs. But this is our background. Check it out. I love the way it looks. And remember, this is going to be a Valentine's project. So what we want to do next is we want to bring in some powdered sugar scraps of cardstock. And using the sweet nacho set, we're going to come in here and we're going to go ahead and stamp several of these elements. So I love this wreath. It's actually perfect for slimline cards because you can stamp 3 of them and kind of fill in that space. Super cute. We're also going to grab the coffee mug here. We're going to grab some of these fun elements. I've got our blooms. And I'm going to bring in this heart. And these are all pieces that we're going to be using to just kind of layer our project. Some of these blooms here. Now let me show you real quick. We've got, so fun. So Nacho was designed to fit inside of the wreath in case you wanted to stamp him. That's not how I'm going to use him on this project, but let me just kind of show you. You can fit him inside of that wreath. You can also fit the sentiment here. We've got our sentiment here. Be My Valentine. So it's super cute. You can just layer and layer and layer and layer. It's absolutely adorable. I've already pre-stamped and I've already pre-cut out some of the pieces that I'm going to be using to help us with time here. Oh, I have to stamp this one. It's too cute. You have to see the little Valentine card.
Such a cute set.
Such a cute set. So you've got your little Valentine card and a variety of different like hearts and stars and filler hearts, all designed to create that fun fill. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a little bit of ink. This is just a Copic marker to just add a little bit of greenery to my leaf. And so forth. So you're going to want to color in all those pieces. Like I said, to help us save some time, I've already pre-cut some of the elements that I'm going to be using. And it's now time to play and create some of these layers featuring our background. So now you can go ahead and wipe off some of that powder. It doesn't stay on necessarily unless you set it. But we don't want to set it. We just wanted to use it to prevent the static of the paper to keep some of our ink. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start to layer. So when in doubt, pop it out. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab some foam tape. And I'm just going to start to layer some of these super fun pieces. And notice how that background just kind of fills in beautifully. And we want to just create a fill for all of those spots. It almost has a little bit of a Christmas vibe here because of the red and green and the white. But we're going to change some of that because we're going to bring in our little love notes. Little coffee mug. Let's actually bring that up here a little bit closer to the top of the wreath. Look how fun that looks, right? You've got all these cool little elements just kind of bringing you some joy, some fun pieces. We're going to bring in some twine just to soften it up a little bit more here. Super fun. We're going to do a double bow. But I love the blackout cards. They're super popular right now. And that just means that the card is set on a black background, not necessarily your card base, but your card front. And we're going to grab some glue. Now again, this particular set is Sweet Nacho. And what's so cute is I actually created several projects featuring this set that kind of go along with Sweet Nacho here. I'm just going to pull my twine in the opposite direction so that it stays that way. And I have a card base. As you guys know, a slimline card is 3.5 by 8.5 long. So I have got my piece here, 8.5 by 7, scored at 3.5. And when in doubt, we're gonna pop it out to this card base here. So cute. Easy to recreate, guys. And I love the idea of a slimline card because it fits in a legal size envelope and you are just ready to set that out and send someone a sweet Valentine treat. What's even better is that it actually fits dollar bills. So send it over. All right, super cute. We're going to add a little bit of dazzle to this. So I've got some white paint here. Again, we want to fill in some of those gaps if we have them. So I'm just going to grab a brush, a splatter brush here. And we're just going to add a few drops of white paint to add to the magic. And we're also going to grab some of our dazzling pat. So our dazzling pat comes clear, but by adding some drops of our re-inkers, which are our sugar drops, you can turn it into any of our colors. So just add a little bit more of that pink. And this is our watermelon. Just on the black is going to look gorgeous. On our letter, on our coffee mug. And here we have the most adorable little project. Now we're also have created a regular A2 size card here. Super adorable, featuring the set. And of course, what would Valentine's be without a little treat? So these are just some little Ghirardelli chocolate holders. That are perfect for that Valentine treat. So all of these were created using Sweet Nacho. And then I used some background stamps here. We have our tight plaid, our cable knit, and our square netting all in red rubber. They're larger size, 6x5, but perfect for fun. Here's that cable knit background on that Sweet Nacho. super cute treats to be able to create. Let me quickly show you guys our projects for our 5 for 5 coming up. You don't want to miss it. If you're available or if you want to catch the replay, we're going to be creating using a brand new digifile called Yeti Cheer. And it's super amazing. I love it so much. You get, for the $5, you get the digital stamp set. And then you're going to get a supply list that you'll need to gather to create this monochromatic tag set and then card set. It's absolutely gorgeous. And if you're absolutely adventurous and you can't wait to stamp some more, we're going to be creating a class at the beginning of the year, a birthday bash class that you'll be able to see on our website as well. Super cute, using a brand new stamp set called Birthday Pop. Check out this mini album, guys. It's actually a birthday calendar I created many years ago. And the digital file is for all the library cards. So the way that this works is we actually create a pocket for every single month. And you can use this year after year after year. But on the due date, you put the recipient's birthday and, of course, their name under borrower's name. So if their birthday is on the 5th of April, then you would put April 5th, Cindy. And then that is her birthday. So this keeps you accountable for all the birthdays in your life so that you don't forget to send out that special birthday card. Guys, I hope that you're inspired, and thank you so much, Scrapbook Expo, for having us here today at the home event. It's always grand to be able to bring paper to life and make amazing happen with each and every one of you. Huge shout out to everybody out there watching, and we have a special discount code for you guys, and that is Nacho25. Nacho25 will give you 25% off our entire website. The sale starts today, or the code starts today, and it ends on Monday. So don't miss out on all of those amazing details, and continue to join us as we continue to bring paper to life and make amazing happen. Thanks again for joining us today as we created this beautiful project featuring our sweet Nacho. It's never too early for Valentine's, and to bring all those amazing projects to life. Thanks again for joining us, guys.
This is the Christmas Time collection from Graphic 45. It is a beautiful collection that is available with the patterns and solids, the chipboard, and the die cut assortments. This is another great project from Graphic 45. It is the Christmas Time Accordion album. It is exclusive to certain vendors such as Creative Creations. Check out the Graphic 45 Accordion album.
So here we have the brand new paper glazes by Picket Fence. These are very beautiful pearly mediums. So we're going to run through the names right quick, and then we're going to show a demo. So here we have Boysenberry. It's a very pretty dark purple. Here we have Peony Pink. Next we have Golden Rose. That's a very pretty gold. Here's a really pretty white. This is called Snowdrop White. Cute. Next we have Artemisia Silver. Really pretty silver. Next we have this darker brown. It's called Brown Dahlia, and there is a hint of gold in there. You see a little bit. And here's our black. It's called Black Pansy. Here is Ocean Poppy. That's a really pretty blue. Next, you have this dark turquoise called Jade Vine. Here's a pretty olive color called Fern Green. There's some gold in that one as well. Here we have Succulent Green. A little bit of turquoise in there. And here's a really pretty green called Leaf Green. Next we have Daffodil Yellow. It's a really pretty yellow. And lastly, we have Marigold Orange. And we're gonna go ahead and demo these for you. So I'm gonna demo these 4 right here. And here I have my Tonic stencil. This is actually called the Dreamy Daisy stencil, just to let you know what that one was. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my Ocean Poppy Blue. Now this is a very smooth medium, and it's very, very pigmented. You can see how easy it is just to get it out of there. It's not chunky or anything. So I just need just a little itsy bitsy tiny bit, because this also goes a very long way. And we're just gonna start in this corner up here, and I'm just gonna swipe down, fill in those spaces and swipe down. Add a little bit more. You don't want to put too much. All right. I think that's good for that color. And that's our Ocean Poppy. It's a really pretty blue. Okay, next I'm going to use this Succulent Green. Going to go in with that again. Just start with a little bit. I'm gonna go right next to that blue. Another great thing about these glazes is that they mix very well. I'm gonna go ahead and ombre that in between those just a little bit. You don't get that mushy brown colors, and you try to blend your colors. So that's fabulous. So just ombre a little bit, and that would be a nice, pretty blend in between the two. I think I'm gonna go in with the pink next to that Succulent Green. So here we have our Peony Pink. I'm gonna go right next to that Succulent Green. And again, I'm gonna blend right in the middle of them two. Just keep scraping down. If you put a thin layer, as if you were doing a stencil, it will only take about 15 minutes to dry, so that's good too. That's about the average for most mediums, so that's fabulous. And next we're gonna go in with our last color, Boysenberry. Again, it's a darker purple. A very nice color. And I'm just gonna go here at the bottom. I put a little bit more so I can feel maybe this bottom. This is a really pretty purple. For all my purple fanatics out there, you'll love this purple. And again, I kind of want to mix it in with that pink up there. And I think I'm actually going to go in with the silver just to fill up that other corner. So here's the silver, Artemisia Silver. This is a great color as well. You always need a silver. We're just going to go down there in that bottom corner and mix in with that blue and with the purple over here. All right, so now we're going to take our stencil up. And look how pretty those blended together. Let's get a closer look at that. Super cute how all those blended a little better. And those were the Glazes by Picket Fence.
Here is another brand new collection from Graphic 45. This is the Blossom collection. We have this available with the patterns and solids, the chipboard, and the die cut assortments. And our third collection from Graphic 45 is Voyage Beneath the Sea Deluxe Collector's Edition, which means it was an older collection that they brought back to also include the sticker sheet and the chipboard. Another great product from Picket Fence is the Sequin Mixes. They are so adorable and they come in the cutest containers. These are great for shaker cards and other embellishment projects. So here is the first one. This is Candy Corn Shots. Lots of fun different colors in that one. Next I have Holiday Hopper. Beautiful. This is Witch's Brew. These are such fun names for these fun sequins. Witch's Brew. This is Christmas Punch. And I love this clear top, so you get to play with the sequins while they're still in their package. This is Irish Coffee. Nice. Here is Purple People Eater. That will look really good with that purple paper glaze we just saw. Here is Mermaid Water. This one is a top seller. And our other top seller, Gin and Tonic. That's a fun silver sequin case. And you're gonna wanna store these in your picket fence sequin mix container. This is a storage solution for these sequin mixes. So I can put these in here and line them up. So I have all of my colors lined up. They won't roll away, and I get to see them all at once if I'm working on a project. So those were our picket fence sequin mixes and our storage display. Next to show you is the brand new Tonic Studios Deco trimmer by Tim Holtz. This is an 8.5 inch torn edge trimmer that gives you that awesome effect that you're looking for. Now I'm going to demo this trimmer for you, and you should know it works with paper and cardstock. It has a 6-inch ruler at the top and the bottom, and a 1/4 inch grid pattern with popular design size markings, along with this paper guard that protects your fingers and prevents any unwanted paper movement. So I'm going to use some 49 and market paper here. I'm going to lift up the trimmer arm and stick my paper underneath the glide at the top here at the 6-inch mark, and I'm going to push down, and you'll see I've got that perfectly torn edge, very similar to what you'd get if you just torn the paper to get the effect, but this cuts it precisely and you don't get any of the white parts of the paper.
Another fantastic brand we carry is 49 and Market. And here is a newer collection called the Vintage Artistry Wedgwood. I really love this collection because it gives you that fall-y feeling to it. So here I'm just going to start with the 12 by 12 back here. This is a very beautiful 12 by 12. You can see all the different colors in it. And the great thing about 49 and Market is they also come with matching die cut pages. And these are actually already pre-cut, so all you have to do is punch them out. And there are actually 2 pages of these die cuts, as you see on the front. These are the 2 pages included in it. And then there are your other pages, super pretty. And then we also have a 6 by 6 that goes with that for my card makers. A beautiful stamp. Some very pretty washi tape that coordinates perfectly with it. And then of course we have some ephemera and some rub-ons. These are super cool, I love them. Another new collection from 49 and Market is the Vintage Artistry Everyday Collection. I love this one, it's got those neutral cool colors in it. So we're going to go ahead and look at the 12 by 12. Again, we can see that it comes with the laser die cuts in it, so that's awesome. And then those are the beautiful neutral colors inside of it. I really love this one. And let's just take a gander at those die cuts. So that's just 1 page of the die cuts. And again, they're already pre-cut for you. You're just punching them out, so that's awesome. And just like the other collection, we have a stamp that goes along with it and the washi tape. Super cute. I love this stamp. And here we have some rub-ons. And that was the Vintage Artistry Everyday Collection. Here we have this cool alien. And these smaller ones are great for kids. They're easy and just small fun projects. Here we have a little cute dolphin. Nice. We have some colorful air balloons, a very pretty lighthouse. This very colorful one is called Rainy Days. I really like that one. And then here we have gardening. Super cute. All right, now for my snowman fanatics, we have our two most popular snowmen here. Here is Father Snow. He's a full body snowman. You can see there's a little mailbox over there. That's Father Snow. A little arch in the background. Cute. And here we have My Little Friends. It's a cute snowman head. He's talking to his cute little birds down there. And that was My Little Friends. Now I would like to show you our collection of Santas. Here we have 6 Santas, and I'm going to run through them. So here we have Santa Ho. This one's really, really cute. Cartoony like Santa. Nice. And here we have Santa Secret. He's holding a bag of toys. This was actually our first Santa Claus, so we really like him. Cute. Okay, and next we have a newer one. This is Christmas Night. This is a more realistic Santa Claus. He's also holding a bag in his hand. Cute. And next we have Santa Cuppa. So this is Santa Claus with a plate of cookies down here, and he's got like a quilt over his legs. And there's a Christmas tree in the background. Nice. And here we have Santa's wish list. I really like this one. He's holding a little good and bad list. Cute. And here we have our biggest one. This is Santa's list as well. He's standing up though. He reminds me more of a classical Santa. So here we have our scenery winter themed diamond dots. Here I'm going to show you our first winter wonderland. This one is very nice. You can see how detailed it is. I really love all the snow on it. It really gives it that wintry effect. It's a cute little snowman up there. And you can see there's a house right there, and then there's also some houses in the back. Super cute. And next we have Winter Village. This is one of our first diamond dots, I believe. This one has tons of sparkle. The box does not do it justice. If you've seen it in person, you know what I'm talking about. This one is very sparkly, so if you're a sparkle lover, this is the one for you. So here are our last 2 Christmas themed diamond dots. First, I'm going to show you the O Christmas tree. This one is a very large Christmas tree. It is full drill, and what that means is it's diamond dotted throughout the whole canvas. So if you love diamond dotting, if you have some time on your hands, you could start this project and you could have it done by Christmas, just in time. That is super cute. I really love that one. And here, lastly, we have our Nativity Scene. This is a very popular one. If you've been to one of our shows in the past year, you've noticed that we had it out on display, and you saw how gorgeous it is. This is a very large canvas as well, and it's very sparkly.
This is the Classic Christmas Collection. This very nicely detailed paper pack. Very nice. There is a matching 8x8 pad of this same collection. There are matching chipboards for the Classic Christmas Collection. Those are cute. And I picked out some stencils from Stamperia. Very nice, cute sentiments. This is our Winter Tales collection from Stamperia. Here's a look at the paper pad. Very nice. There are some matching die cut pieces. I have some matching rice paper, very fragile and very nice to decoupage with. That is that lady that is looking over the terrace at the castle, and here's a matching version of her in the paper. And here is another one. of the fairy, Winter Tales fairy. And I know she is over here in the corner of the paper pack. So she's got her own page in there as well. And there is a matching Winter Tales chipboard. So lots of items to go with that collection. This is Stamperia Arctic Antarctic collection. This is very similar to Winter Tales. You'll notice the same kind of blues, except it focuses on Arctic animals and icons. Very nice collection. Here is a cute decorative chips that I picked out for this collection. Here is the matching Arctic Antarctic chipboard. And some really nice Stamperia gray board that you can use to paint with and create photo frames with. And that is the Arctic Antarctic collection. Our last Stamperia 12x12 collection is the Pink Christmas collection. This one is so beautiful. I cannot keep it in stock. I have to keep reordering. This is so pretty, and I love how different it is to use for your Christmas layouts or cards when it's not ordinary Christmas colors, but you still get that touch of winter. There is a matching 8x8 paper pad for this collection. Super nice to use for cards. I've also got the matching Pink Christmas chipboard. These are very lovely, and they match quite well with the paper pads. And I picked out some Stamperia gray board that could be used for smaller frames or decorative pieces. I also have some other Stamperia items, such as our Arctic Ice Paste. That's a nice glimmering paste to add maybe to make a snow on your layouts. Here are Arctic Flakes. This is like chunky glitter. Very nice, and they're very fun to work with. You could even use it with your Arctic ice. That's Arctic Flakes. I have another 8x8 Christmas vintage. This one is different. It gives a more vintage vibe to it with more browns and darker greens. This is the Graphic 45 Ephemera Queen Purse and Accordion Album Monthly Project Volume 11. This is brand new from Graphic 45 using the Ephemera Queen collection that just released. This is another fantastic kit from Graphic 45 called the Ephemera Queen Glitter Waterfall Card Set. You can find this on our website along with many other new products.
Hello everyone, it's Karen Burniston. I am a die designer, and we are here today to talk about our website, KarenBurniston.com, and the special that we have going for this week, which is free US shipping on orders over $25. You do need to put in the code free ship at checkout, and that special will be good through Christmas. Okay, so let me just show you some of our dies and what they do. One of our most popular ones, our pop-ups, is our photo collage pop-up. So what this one will do, we'll be popping up a collage of 8 photos. Sometimes you can fit more, but definitely 8. And that die set includes a lot of decorator pieces included. So it comes with the word smile and the little small binder clip and the push pin and the ticket. That all comes with it. But then we also add on, a lot of sets where if you get the add-on sets, they just add more embellishments. So our memory charms is a good choice to go with the photo collage because then you have the little camera. So you can see that camera used here, the frame from the memory charms. Here's a card by one of our design team members, Fran, using pictures of Filbert. Here's one where I did a birthday card for my twins from the time they were 3 up until like 20. Okay, just all throughout the years, pictures of them together. Here's one I did a couple years ago using our design team photos. So, it's a really, really fun dynamic card. Now, you don't have to put photos in it. You can definitely use any of our embellishment dies or maybe some of your favorite stamps. This one is done using our love charms, and you can see how well those charms fit in all those little photo frames. Here's one I did last year for Thanksgiving, where on Thanksgiving Day, I had everyone assemble a couple little turkeys in whatever colors they wanted, and then I added on some of the leaves and things from our autumn elements, and just made a little keepsake from the day that showed pictures of us all and the turkeys that we made. Okay, so photo collage pop-up, really, really popular one. Another popular die for us is our woven basket box card. So this isn't a traditional pop-up in a card, but it's a pop-up box style. So you would flatten it, mail it, then they would just display it on the table like a little paper bouquet. And it does come with 3 size flowers and vines. It's got the woven sides and the rope handles and the grass for the inside. That all just comes with the set. But then of course you can experiment with different flowers from other sets, or maybe you're going to fill it with something completely different than flowers. In this more masculine version, I did some evergreen trees and deer and some little camping charms for a birthday card. There is a video on our website that shows you how you can assemble it double wide. So you can see here that that's 2 baskets put together to make it double wide. There's a video instruction for that. I think Fran made this card using our Easter charms and our Easter feathered or spring animals inside. And then this one by Lois on our design team, she also did the double wide basket, but this time did it in a completely farm theme using our barn and all of our farm animals and farm edges. So woven basket box card. Okay, moving on, there is our coffee cup pop-up. So this one is a fun one. It does have decorator pieces that you can use on the fronts of the card as well. It pops up that sort of traditional to-go coffee cup, and it has clips on the back to hold a standard size gift card, which is optional, but it does hold a gift card if you want to use that as a way to give somebody a gift. What's nice about our die sets too is that you're always choosing your own card size, and you're even choosing your card style. So here's one where you can see the coffee cup in the flat position when the card is closed, then open it and it pops up. And of course you can do that in whatever color scheme you want. You don't have to put a gift card in the clips. Here's one that Kelly Booth made where she's starting to add in some of our decorator dies. So in this case, she's used the coffee charms, which is a great little add-on because then you'll get the smaller version of the cup. But then also our mermaid, tropical scene, some of our label dies. And you can see she's done a completely tropical version of a pop-up coffee cup card with the gift card included. Okay, now here's where it gets fun. So that's the coffee cup. You saw the woven basket box card. A fun thing that I like to do every month for my designer challenge video is figure out ways that you can combine mechanisms. Because as we like to say, with our brand, you're investing in a timeless tool. So we want you just constantly to be able to come up with new ideas and stuff of ways to combine them. So even though these 2 dies came out in completely different releases, what I figured out is that I could use the woven basket on the coffee cup mechanism, and then you get a pop-up bouquet in a traditional card, but a little bit of a different look. So that's combining the mechanism of the coffee cup pop-up with the decorator pieces of the woven basket box card. One of my favorite, just generic, easy, all-around pop-up would be the frame pull pop-up. So what this one does, it has no theme. You just pull the tab and it pops open a little square card. There's an extra pop-up mechanism that's optional that you can have something kind of floating inside the card. And it has no theme. So in this case, I've decorated it Halloween using some of our Halloween charms, but you could do it for any season or any occasion. And what I like about it is that it can go on the front of a card. You don't have to use it on the inside of the card. You can choose something else for that decoration. This card is by Fran. So on our website, I show an adaptation of the frame pull by just adding a couple score lines and extending your pull tab. You can actually create a waterfall out of it. So that's a fun adaptation of the frame pull pop-up. Okay, and here's one where I did the frame pull adaptation as a waterfall on a slimline card and then decorated it with our new slim frames and our holly pattern plate. That's a postcard style card. Okay, let me show you how quick and easy it is to assemble one of our pop-up ball dies. So this one is actually the smaller one, the bitty ball pop-up. And what you do is you take your big die and you die cut it twice to make one ball. So I've done that here out of a medium weight smooth cardstock is my favorite. Definitely probably 80 to 100 pounds if you're in the States, or like 216 to 270 or so GSM if you're overseas. And then we also have the decorator pieces that come included in the set. And so I've cut those out of the patterned paper, the hexagon and the trapezoids. Okay, and I've already done half. Okay, so here's what I did to get it to that point. Is I start by locating the score lines, and I can see them really easily on the side that I've die cut into. So that's the side that I would want to fold. And I'm going to fold first these 4 wings. 2 of the sides have the wings. They're the sides that have the little hole. Then they also have the wings, and those are reinforcers. So they actually glue down in the back to make those sides even stronger so they can hold up that rubber band. And you can use any strong adhesive. I prefer glue, so I have my Lineco Neutral pH adhesive in my fine tip bottle. We do sell both of those items on our website as well. Okay, so just holding that so that the glue will set up, and I'm going to do that on all 4 of the wings. Okay, like this. Okay, so this is actually the inside of the ball, and that side where you can see the score lines is the outside. And so now I'm going to start working the score lines that I see in this piece, and they should all be folded away from me like a mountain fold, top of the mountain. And I'm not looking to fold these back and forth and back and forth. I'm not using a bone folder, nothing like that. I just basically a finger fold on all of these fold lines at the ends of the trapezoids and then at the base. Okay, so I'm just going around and working all of those like mountain folds. You can see there's half of the ball. Okay, then I like to go ahead and add the decorator pieces now while it's flat, because it's easier than, you know, doing it after. And then what's nice about having the decorator pieces on before you've assembled it is that when you are checking the tension of your rubber band and making sure that you get a good spring, you've already accounted for the weight of the decorator paper anyway that you're putting on it. So you might still end up putting additional embellishments on this piece, but at least you'll already have the weight of the paper pieces, you know, factored in when you're sort of deciding on your rubber band. Okay, so just going around and adding those pieces. And you do get 6 of these trapezoid pieces in the set so that you can cut these pieces fast, and you can stack up 2 layers underneath each die. So really you can get all 12 of the hexagon or the trapezoids that you need at one time. And then on the hexagon, the one that fits the top and the bottom, you can do the same thing. You get 1 die, you can cut through 2 layers at once so that you have them both. Okay, and those are obviously sized to leave a little shadow all the way around so that you get that little 2-tone effect. This is the die that you would use if you wanted to cut your photos to fit your ball. So if you wanted to, you know, put photos on some or all of the sides, you could do that. Okay, so now I have my decorator pieces on. So here's how, and then I just did it twice. So what's going to happen is that these 2 are going to glue together. And the first thing we want to do is we want to locate one of the sides that has the hole and the slit, okay? And then we do the same thing on the other one. And what we want to do is we want to choose a side so that when we kiss connection, when we glue them together like this, both the hole and the cut line up. So see the hole and the cut. If I have this one turned around, the hole will line up, but not the cut. So just make sure when you're making that first choice that you choose the 2 that both the hole and the cut line up. So for this, we would put the adhesive on the top of the tab like this, and then we're going to essentially fold these in so that they kiss together and connect on the inside of the ball. And this is something that you want to take your time with so that you make sure that you have nice straight corners, a straight line right across here. On the inside, you can check your corners here, make sure that everything lines up, and I can still get through that cut into that hole to add my rubber band later. Okay, so once you have one done, then what I like to do is I like to go around and connect half of the sides around the ball until I get to the other kiss connection over here. Okay, so when I do that, I need to make sure that I'm choosing the side that doesn't have the cut so that when I get around to the other side, that side is open for me to reach in and add the rubber band. So as I look at it, I look where the cut is and I go the other direction. So this direction that doesn't have the cut, I'm going to connect the next side, which would be these two. But these ones don't have full tabs, they have half tabs. So the way half tabs work is they get adhesive on them. Again, I recommend a strong adhesive. They're not connecting to each other, they're connecting side by side to the other side of the ball, okay? And you can just do that like this from the outside by just looking at your corners and making sure that it's straight. And let's take a look in there. You see that one tab is connected to one half and the other tab to the other half of the surprise ball. And then I'm just going to carry on and do the exact same thing again. So I like, you know, that this die set is so easy to assemble, but with such dynamic results. You know, it's a very fun one, and it's so generic, it really can become anything. So if you need inspiration for what to do with your surprise ball or bitty ball projects, then I would head on over to our Facebook group, the Karen Burniston Pop-Up Peeps, and join that. You know, you'll have to answer a couple questions to get in and all that. And then people from all over the world are sharing some really, really fun projects using these ball dies. Okay, and then all of our other dies as well. So now I have half of the tabs connected, and I can still get in there where the cut is and add my rubber band. Okay, oh, and you know what I didn't do, which I should have done, but I can still do it, is I want to add if I want this to spin in the project, then I need to add a brad through the bottom. And at this point, there's no up or down. You can decide. There is a hole in it, but see, I've covered that with my hexagon, so I need to just go in there and pierce the hole back again so that I can just take a brad inside and open it up. And then now I have the ability to add that with a brad later and make it spin. Okay, for rubber band size, I go over this in the assembly videos for how to choose a rubber band. My favorites are the number 12 soft stretch rubber bands. I mean, I even have, you know, the name, all that, you know, is on the website if you go on KarenBurniston.com. Okay, so I'm just going to slide that rubber band through the slots and into the hole on the other side. And this is the time now to check and see that you like the tension of it. Okay, so what you should be looking for is, I like that this is kind of bringing those sides in a little bit, but they're not inverting. I like that this gap back here is not very much, okay? If I felt like it was too lethargic, like it wasn't popping up to my liking, what I would do is I would take this out and put a knot in it. Let's just do that for demonstration here. Okay, so I would just go around my fingers like I was tying off the end of a balloon and just put a knot in the center. Okay, and that'll just give it a little bit of extra tension in there and give you a little bit tighter spring. So it's hard for me to say exactly which rubber band you're going to use every single time. It depends on the ball, it depends on the cardstock, it depends on the paper and the embellishments. I mean, it depends on a lot of things. So the best thing to do is just kind of learn what to look for. Let's make sure that's right side up, which is, you know, something where right now I can check and it's got a really good spring back, but not so tight that it's pulling those sides and inverting them. Okay, and then I can just continue on and finish out the assembly. Okay, so glue here, and then those go side by side. We're back to half tabs again. Sorry, I'm kind of sloppy with my glue. You'd think after doing as many of these as I've done, I would hit it exactly right on how much glue to put on these tabs, but I always seem to overshoot a little bit. That's why I like Dries Clear glue, which is like my favorite thing. Okay. All right, and then when that sets up, I've now assembled my pop-up ball and it is ready for a project. And then I would just undo these and put it through a hole in the card to attach this, you know. And of course it can be decorated. However, I could stack another one on top. Okay, so let's look at the difference in size between the two ball dies. So the bitty ball pop-up and then the surprise ball pop-up, they go together exactly the same. They just have different decorator dies included. So the surprise ball is about 20% larger than the bitty ball. You can see that if I stack them on top like this. There's a pretty fair difference in size. So if you wanted to stack the two together to make an animal, then the body would be, you know, a larger size than the head. You get these embellishments with the surprise ball, real generic hearts and stars and circles. So circles make great eyeballs if you're fashioning your surprise ball into animals. The bitty ball is more geared towards animal making. So the pieces that come included in that are like arms and ears and eyes, hearts, little bows, things like that to fashion animals. Now, a great add-on die for the surprise ball or the bitty ball or both would be our flap and closure die set, so that you can easily make envelopes and card flaps to keep the ball closed when, you know, you're putting it in a card. So the surprise ball needs a 5-inch square to hold it, and that flap and closure is 5 inches wide. So that's perfect for making like a petal fold like you see here, or you can use it on any size card really just to add a closure flap. So this one's an A2 size card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I've put that 5-inch flap centered on it to hold that closed. And then here is a dog made with just the pieces that come included in the bitty ball. So there's 2 of them stacked on top of each other. So in that case, the head and the body are the same size, but you can also make them where you combine the 2 sizes. So in this case, the top penguin has got the bitty ball on the top and the surprise ball. Then the bottom one is actually 2 surprise balls stacked on top of each other. So you really can, you know, have a lot of fun if you have both sizes. You can use our animal add-on sets even to make little flat animals. So we have 3 animal add-on sets available. Animal add-ons 1 will make the pig, the fox, and the cat. They are pointy-eared animals. Animal add-ons 2 will make the hippo, the elephant, and the giraffe. And then animal add-ons 3 will make the penguin, the reindeer, and the moose. A couple more examples of not using the ball dies for animals, but just as their own little pop-up spring embellishment. So in this case, it's the surprise ball, and then just some of our animals and charms used for your sweet card, and then the flap and closure used to keep it closed. Then here, slimline cards are really popular. So this one is a 4 by 9 slimline with a belly band closure, and then it's got that little bitty ball inside, and then decorated with some of our charms and our gnome set. So you really can enjoy these even if you're not planning on making them into big characters. I also have a lot of fun just fashioning different types of closures. So for this one, it's elastic and beads that just go over the top of each other. And here's an example of using the surprise ball just as a billboard. So there's the surprise ball back there, and that could be either size ball, just used to pop up a big item. So basically just using the mechanism for its spring ability, so to speak. And here's another example of that. This time I did a snap closure. So I just actually sewed a little snap onto some ribbon. And then here's the bitty ball used again just to spring things up. So it's actually being used to animate our mini pops pop up all the way around it. All those mini pops are attached to the ball, and that's what's giving it the spring to pop up. And then we have our Christmas trees kind of attached to it. To see these dies and more, just head on over to our website, KarenBurniston.com. Thanks for watching.
Welcome back, everybody. And I loved, it was great to have Richard with us again.
Yes, it's so good to see
And,
him.
you know, just the talent, you know, his talent. And I loved Sweet Nachos. What a great name for a stamp set. You know,
isn't that adorable?
It's a person, you know, the what I liked about it, it's so personalized, you know, with his friend's dog that was named that. So, but we were talking about how, Vic and I were talking about, we love the black background with that white on it, and then the pink as the base.
So pretty.
I mean,
even Sean, we were talking about how the colors for Valentine's, you know, you think traditionally it's like red and pink, but to add that black background with the white, you know, embossing on top. It just was gorgeous.
Yeah, and still added, you know, after he had, you know, the black and the white on there, and added all the elements to bring out the color, and did the sprit. You know, I love all the little spritzing and all that.
It just
so.
added. Yeah, I was on his website. Sean and I were trying to figure out which stamp set he used. So if anybody knows, leave it in the comments.
Dave just said sweet nachos.
Oh,
Nachos.
yeah.
Sweet
Oh,
nachos.
that's
And I
what
just
it was
found it
called.
as soon as you said it.
Yeah.
We
They'll
were-
wake up in just a minute.
During the
No.
very beginning, I'll have to admit, me and him Sean and I were trying to fix something on my laptop so we could, you know, so we missed exactly what he was saying, and Dave's like, no, it is embossed, and I'm like, no, it's not. What is it? And we were just, so, yeah, this is why we should not try to fix up my computer.
Rewatch it.
Yeah, we could rewatch it, so
Exactly.
we'll answer all of our own questions.
And I loved, you know, he had that the book that he had made with the pockets in it
Yes.
for all, you know, you could use that for birthdays, put all your little special
Yeah.
reminders, anniversaries, and all that stuff. So,
Yeah, that was
so
so
just
great.
love both projects, and you know, it just makes it look so easy. And thank you, Richard, for, you know, all your talents that you have, and the great products. So, and you
Right.
have some great designers too, by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
So.
I've already been like shopping on the website, so it's so cute. You guys are definitely going to want to take advantage of their show special, which is 25% off.
Wow, that's a good deal, folks.
Yes, using coupon code NACHO25, and that will expire on the 22nd. So you just have a little bit of time. So you want to get on there and shop.
And get that, because, you know, Valentine's Day cards are really literally around the corner, if not here. So
Oh yeah, and
6 weeks till Valentine's Day.
I don't know, but oh my God, it was just gorgeous. Everything is gorgeous. He is so talented. Him and Gabby are just amazing. Love him.
Yeah. So thank you so much, and once again, Richard, great to see you again. So
Yes.
with this, and then we have Creative Creations. They have so many great product lines. You know, they have picket fence, and they had, you know, that beautiful picket fence glaze, and I love those sequins collections that they have, and you know, the storage. I mean, we always are looking for ways to store all of those great products, and they have something for those sequins. They have and the Tim Holtz Deco trimmer.
Yes.
That's going to be a must-have. I think that might
sure.
be. I've been pretty good this year, so maybe I'll put that on my good list instead of the naughty list.
I got it, and I used
Yeah.
it last week.
Yes.
I
Is it?
love it.
Oh really?
So you
Okay.
got one.
It's a
Yeah.
must-have.
Yes.
Definitely. Let me write that on my notes.
Yes. So love that. 49 and market. I mean, just beautiful products. Diamond dots, of course. They have those.
Oh,
are
yeah.
just beautiful, and what a relaxing craft to do for
Yes.
sure. The diamond dots, and just love the Stamperia, the paper. That's just beautiful paper to me.
It's so elegant and gorgeous, and you know, I've seen so many people use it in so many different ways, many albums,
Yes.
cards. And then they've even done like home decor, where you just put the Stamperia and you build on it, and
Yes.
it's just the paper.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
So yes, I totally agree. Definitely need the Tim Holtz Deco trimmer.
Yes.
And I love the picket fence. She used on the stencil.
The glaze.
Glaze.
Yes.
Yes. Those are beautiful.
Yeah. Beautiful colors.
Yes. So.
And you know, and one thing too, I didn't mean to interrupt, but you know, it comes out. You don't have to use a lot. You know, it's not chunky like she said. It's really smooth. So
Right.
nice.
A little bit.
One of those good quality products for sure.
And
so.
just you could add that for anything.
Yeah.
Like a layout, a card, even like again like the mixed media home decor thing.
Yeah.
You know, where you make that beautiful your Bible journaling, anything. I
Anything.
guess. Yeah.
Yes,
Beautiful.
for sure.
So, Creative Creations has a wonderful show special with 15 off everything online. Free shipping at $100, coupon code WINTER, and that will expire on December 26th.
Great, awesome. So thank you so much once again, Creative Creations. And then Karen Berniston, I mean,
Wow.
how the creativity and with all those the pop-up dies. When she did the photo collage, they had the pop-up box that was the woven basket, and the coffee, which we all love. Just love all those little pop-ups. And I liked, because what I like about these products, like she showed, is that you can use the mechanisms interactively to make different products. So it's almost like you're getting 2 dies in one when you're able to do that. And I think that is one of the goals of her products, is to really get the best out of that. And the frame for the waterfall, and also the surprise and bitty balls, those little pop-up. I mean, how fun. I mean, fun to make, fun to give, and fun to see somebody open that card and think,
yeah, we all went, oh, when it opened up. I mean, it was gorgeous.
Just great stuff.
I agree with everything you said. I loved the photo collage pop-up. That's a must-have for me. I think that is so cute, because you could do anything, whether it's Valentine's or St. Patrick's or birthday, and like you could have the little pictures, or it could be hearts, or
it's like a mini album in a card.
Yeah, the sky is the limit. And we all use coffee, gift cards. It's pretty easy to give as presents. So how cute would it be to have that card, homemade card? So that was awesome. So yes, Dave, so much. Karen Bernstein, oh my goodness. I'm crazy about your pop-up dies. They are amazing. So the show special is free U.S. shipping on orders over $25 using code FREESHIP at checkout. And it will expire on Christmas.
Very good. Well, everybody, free shipping is such a great deal right now.
Yeah,
so
it is.
Very good.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Vickyville, we have a couple of great specials going on here at Stampin' Scrapbook Expo.
We sure do.
So right now, everybody, we have our Mega Make and Takes and our Mega Make and Take kits. Well, some of our past Mega Make and Takes, we have some kits available, individual kits that you can buy a la carte, and we have a whole list on them. And we have this special. We've already sold over 100 of these different kits, so you are going to want to act now, because you can only get those through December the 24th. And so what you can do is you can go to our shopathomeevents.com website, and you will be able to see all of the individual kits that you can buy from the previous Mega Make and Takes. And what's a nice thing about that is you might see a kit from, you're going to be able to literally pick and build your own Mega Make and Take box with either products and companies that or what I always love about it and always mention is that it's a great way to get your hands on a new product and try it out. So and we have some great megas coming up too, don't we?
We do, and I believe that a la carte are on sale right now, aren't they, Sean?
Yes.
Yeah, 25% off.
25% off.
25%
I've been
off.
Doing the orders, and I'm like, that's how much it costs. Let me order some for myself. Because they are a great deal. So if you want, like he was saying, play with one that you've never, played with before, this is the time, because they're on sale.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, Dave, on tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
We are having a fabulous Mega Make and Take, December 20th, and it is amazing. Let's see who is going to be in the Mega tomorrow. Oh my gosh, it's going to be awesome. There's going to be Close to My Heart, Kelly Hammond, Hearts and Crafts, KLM Crafting, Caterpillar, Miniature Luxuries and Papers, Quick Quotes. I mean, it is going to be fabulous.
And all the projects are amazing.
They are. We've seen them.
We got to preview. So.
Yes, they're awesome.
Yes, and then in January we have 2 coming up as well.
We do have 2 coming up in January. We have the January 3rd is the Classic.
Yes.
And so they're awesome.
Okay.
And there's one more on the 17th too, but we're out of time. So
that's okay.
I'll come back.
So we'll be back and enjoy.
Hi everyone, my name is Bindu and I'm the owner of Crafty Meraki. I started Crafty Meraki earlier this year because of my passion for crafting. I am very new to Scrapbook Expo, and this is my first time at the Shop at Home events, so I wanted to introduce myself and my company to you all. At Crafty Meraki, we carry all major brands and we have most new releases in stock. This is the Crafty Meraki website, and on the website you can shop either by brand or by category. For example, you see here inks, embellishments, stencils, dies, stamps. You can shop by category, or again, you can shop by brands like you see here. If you go to collections, you can see all the brands that we carry, and you can just click on any one of the brands and it'll take you to that brand and you can shop for that brand directly. We ship most orders either the same day or the very next business day. We have free shipping for all orders above $50 within the United States, and all orders under $50 ship for $5 flat fee. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram to see daily inspiration from the design team, and follow us on YouTube to see video tutorials from the design team as well. For today's project, we're going to be using this slimline die called Craft Around, which I designed myself. However, we're not making cards today. We're going to make these lovely ornaments and tags. So even though this is actually a slimline die, we're going to really stretch our supplies today. We're going to make these ornaments with the same die. So I started by die cutting from a red cardstock using this Craft Around slimline die. I tried to get a head start so I could save some time. But I cut a bunch of panels like this with red cardstock, and you can see here that we have some amazing marquee cuts left out from those die cuts. Don't get rid of those because you'll see we're going to use them for our projects. I also die cut the same panel from a gold glitter cardstock, and I saved the marquee cuts from it as well. Next, I'm going to cut a bunch of circles from green glitter cardstock to use as the base for our ornaments. You can either use a circle punch or a die like I'm using here to die cut circle shapes from any cardstock for that matter. Cut out as many circles as you would like to make ornaments and have them all ready. Once you have all your circles cut out and ready, we can move on to our next step. Next, we're going to take our die cut panel that we cut from red cardstock, and we're going to add glue to the back of the panel. You can see I already got another head start here, and I attached one of the circles already to the panel, but we're going to do the same thing a few times. Once you add glue to the back of the red panel, take your circle die cuts and attach the front side to the back of this red panel. So flip your circle cut and glue it down to the red panel. Press the circle down in place, and if you flip it over, this is what the front of our ornament is going to look like. We're going to let the glue dry on those first two circles that we just glued. But in the meantime, we're going to make another ornament, but this time we're going to do the die cut inlay technique, and we're going to make an ornament with the leftover marquee cuts that I was just talking about. Remember I said don't throw away the leftover marquee cuts, and we're going to use them? This is what we're going to do. So we're going to use our die cut panel as a stencil, and as you just saw me do here, apply very tiny little bit of glue in the openings where the marquee cuts would go, and start placing the cuts one at a time into the open areas. So here are some tips. Make sure to use very tiny little bit of glue because you don't want the glue to stick to the panel and then the panel's never going to come off the circle, the ornament. So the next tip is to use a jewel picker. I'm using a crystal katana here, but use any jewel picker that you may have. The one that you would use to pick up crystals or gems with, I use the same picker, gem picker, to pick up these tiny little die cuts. As you can see me here, I'm picking up one piece at a time with this jewel picker and placing them in the open areas through the front panel. I know this looks tedious, but we're only covering a very small circle here, and I'm also not covering the whole circles where there would be half cuts. You'll see what I mean. I'm only covering that center portion where all the marquee pieces actually fit. We're going to continue placing the marquee cuts in the open areas until we have this diamond pattern covered with the marquee cuts. You'll see what I mean here in a minute when I'm done. But these pieces do really fit in like a puzzle. Another tip to share here is that I'm using my Wendy Vecchi Make Art Station because I want to make sure that my panel and the circle die cut underneath it don't move while I'm doing this die cut inlay. This is probably the time to have your girlfriends over to chit chat and talk away while you're working. Or maybe have some Christmas music playing in the background. So like I said, this is actually a slimline die, but this can be used in many different ways as you're seeing. You could also use this panel on an A2 size card. While the glue dries on this panel, let me show you what I mean. Here's an example of a slimline die being used on an A2 size card. I used a Crafty Meraki slimline die called You Are My Sunshine to make this A2 size card. I used Distress inks to ink blend on a white cardstock panel, and I simply die cut it using the You Are My Sunshine die. I used this Crafty Meraki stamp called Shine On to gold emboss onto a black cardstock. Then I simply fussy cut around the gold embossed flowers on the inside of the panel. After that, I flipped over the black cardstock, and as you can see, I went crazy with the pop dots here. I basically foam mounted the black panel and I stuck it on to the ink blended panel die cut with the sunshine die. Simply trim the excess sunshine pattern off the sides and mount this whole panel onto a card base. And then add your sentiment and voila, you're done. See how easy that is? And what a way to stretch your supplies. So try it out for yourself. Okay, so back to our ornaments. The die cut inlay that we did has dried nicely, so I am carefully removing the top panel that we used as a stencil from the ornament to reveal the diamond pattern on the circle die cut. Ta-da! And I couldn't just make one ornament and stop, I had to make more. So back to the panel where we glued the circles directly onto the die cut. I'm taking a pair of scissors and I'm going to fussy cut around the circle that we glued on to this craft around slimline pattern. First, I'm going to cut as close to the circle as possible, like that. And I'm going to fussy cut around the circle. I find that it's easier to cut from the back rather than from the front. So you see me here, I flipped it over and I cut around the back. I feel that this is easier, so if it works for you, you can try cutting from the front, but for me, this is what worked the best. So I'm simply going to cut out the circles from all the 4 that I glued onto the panel, and then we'll reveal what the ornament looks like. Once you cut it out and flip it over, this is what the ornament will look like on the front. I'm going to continue to fussy cut the other 3 circles that I had glued on, and I'm in the end going to be left with 4 ornaments. I don't know about you, but I actually enjoy fussy cutting. Something therapeutic about it. But make sure to use a sharp pair of scissors. I always like to keep a pair of EK Success scissors just for fussy cutting, and I don't do anything else with that scissors. So here's a tip. All right, so here's the front of the ornament. Once we have all of our ornaments ready, I'm going to take a tiny punch. It's a circle punch, and I believe it's a 3/16 of an inch punch. I'm going to flip it over and punch in the middle so that we can put our ribbon through and hang our ornaments. I'm gonna do that for all the 4 ornaments that you see here. So you see here that I have 2 ornaments I made using the die cut inlay technique, and 2 ornaments where I simply glued on the die cut panel onto the glitter circle die cut. Once we have our holes punched, we're ready to move on to the next step. Ta-da! We're gonna have some fun. We can't have ornaments without bling. We have to bling it up. So I'm using this Pink Fresh Studio Essentials Jewel Mix, and I'm picking out some colors to see which ones I like to use on the ornaments. By the way, we have the Pink Fresh Studio Essentials Jewel Mix available on our website. Stick around till the end for a special discount code so you can get this for an even better deal. So back to our ornaments. I decided I wanted to use the green jewels from this Pink Fresh Studio Essentials Jewel Mix. And I'm simply going to use a tiny dot of glue everywhere I want to place the jewel mix. Once I'm done placing the glue dot, I'm going to take my jewel picker again and carefully pick out 1 jewel at a time and place them on top of the glue dot. Time for another tip. This tray that you see me use, the triangle tray, is actually a bead tray. But if you're like me and you like to bling it up, you know that this is a super cool thing to have in your stash. All you have to do is place your jewels in the tray and shake it just like you saw me do it. And it flips over the sequins or the jewels, so it's easy for you to just pick up with your tool and place on top of the glue dot. So I'm going to finish adding the jewels to all the ornaments just like we just did. Here's what it looks like when it's all done. I made some of the ornaments like this one with pearls instead of jewels. So I tried to switch it up, used pearls on some and used jewels on the others. After we made the ornaments, I decided I also wanted to make a tag the same way. So I simply die cut onto red cardstock using a tag die. And you see that I use this gold die cut panel as a stencil. And I'm gluing on the gold cutout marquees into the tag through the die cut panel on the top. That sounded like a lot, but essentially we're doing the same thing we did for the ornament. We're using die cut inlay technique to make a tag. So I'm going to continue gluing the gold glitter cardstock die cuts through the openings onto the gift tag. Once again, I'm using my Wendy Vecchi Make Art Station to make sure that my panel and the gift tag don't move while I'm gluing the die cut inlay pieces. The magnets I found are really helpful when you're doing something like this. In fact, I use my station more than anything else. Even when I'm watercoloring, I use this Make Art Station and I simply put the magnets on top of the watercolor panel and I watercolor. I find that it works personally for me much better than tape would. So you don't see me using tape here, but if tape works for you, great. By all means, feel free to use tape, whatever works for you. So I'm going to finish gluing the marquee cuts, and once the glue is dry, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to carefully remove the top panel while making sure that the inlay pieces are glued down and they don't peel off of the tag. And you see me using the sharp tip of the jewel picker to press down the inlay pieces while I'm carefully lifting the panel with my left hand. Once all that is done, we're ready to use a ribbon and make our tag. I'm doing the same thing for all the other ornaments as well. I'm using this gold ribbon and I'm simply gonna cut it to size and thread it through the ornaments using that punch hole that we made earlier. And there you have it. Your ornaments and gift tags are now ready. Here are some slimline cards that I made using the Craft Around slimline die. Once again, I made a die cut card and a die cut inlay card. So I got a twofer using just one ink blended panel and one die cut. Here's another slimline card I made using the same die. I simply added a gold embossed flower image on a vellum paper on top of the die cut panel. Last but not least, I want to share with you this card that one of our design team members made. She used another slimline die called Crafty Plaid to make the ornaments that you see here on the card. So as a show special, today only, use code SSBE20 to take 20% off of your entire purchase. Don't forget to follow us and subscribe on our YouTube channel for daily dose of inspiration. Thank you for spending time with me today, and I hope you are inspired to create. Merry Christmas, everyone! And I wish you a very happy New Year ahead. I hope to see you all soon at another Shop at Home event. Until then, stay happy, stay crafty. Bye!
Hi guys, Florette here with Ink on 3. Thanks so much for joining me today. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to create all kinds of great backgrounds. We're going to make cards with those. Make sure you stay all the way till the end where you'll find out what our shopping spree is. It's a fun thing you can win. And then also we have a discount code as well, and that'll also be at the end. So stay tuned. Let's get started and get your ink on.
So here are some of the great supplies we're going to be using today. We're going to use stamps and stencils, and our mirror image stamp, we're going to do some really cool watercolor backgrounds with that. And we're going to use the Atelier ink because it's water reactive. And we're going to use some blackout ink and some juicy ink, and we're going to take all of this, make all kinds of backgrounds, and then create cards with them. I hope you find this really inspiring and give it a try. So let's start first with the mirror image stamp. So here you can see I'm pulling it off the sticker sheet. When it's on the sticker sheet, it looks like a large black rectangle. When we pull it off, you can see it's a completely clear, highest quality photopolymer. And what it was designed originally for is to create the reverse of an image. So if you had a little dog or a little cat and you have one stamp and you'd really love for that stamp to be facing the other way so that you could have two little dogs facing each other, this is what the mirror image stamp was designed for. Today we're going to use it to make really fun watercolor backgrounds that fit perfectly on an A2 size card. So I'm using my Misty. You can do this without a Misty. I just prefer it because I can then just keep stamping. But if you want to use it without, you would just put that piece of photopolymer on your mat and then put your ink on and lay your paper on top. So I've positioned my piece of paper in the corner of the Misty, and then I aligned the mirror image stamp right in the center so I get this beautiful white edge all the way around. Now I'm taking some Atelier Artist Grade Fusion ink and I'm just lightly dabbing it onto the stamp, and I'm avoiding touching the two colors into one another at this point because I don't want to contaminate the ink pads. And then I'm going to just take a brayer and I'm going to roll it right over the whole thing. And a brayer is something that's usually used in printing, but it works beautifully for this. And when I do that, I'm now going to have the Sweet Petunia Pink, the teal, the Trinity Teal, and blending those together, I'm going to get this beautiful purple. Then I'm going to lightly spritz it with water, just very lightly, and I'm going to gently put it down on the paper. And look at that beautiful background. How easy is that? But the cool thing is, there is now enough ink on there that I could probably do 2 more backgrounds. And each time I do them, they're going to be a little lighter. So for this second one, I'm going to put just a very light mist on my paper, and then a little light mist on the stamp, and then I'm going to stamp that down, and I'm going to get a really pretty, soft, background that's going to look a little different from the one I did earlier. And if I were to do it a third time, which there is enough ink on, I could do that too. Now if you get some excess water on there, I just dab it off with my ink off cloth, and look at that beautiful background now. So these are going to be really fantastic for cards. And like I say, I have enough ink to do some more, but I'm going to wipe it off so that we can continue on with our video. Oh, one thing that I wanted to mention is I am using watercolor paper. So to clean off my stamp, I just wiped it with the ink off cloth. I'm grabbing the ink off stamp cleaner and just rubbing it all over. Simply wipe it down again with my ink off cloth, and now it is ready to use again. And the ink off stamp cleaner is really fantastic because it will clean your stamps and condition them. So they're really going to keep your stamps in great shape. Now, anytime you're using a really high quality ink like the Atelier, which has a lot of pigment in it, if you have the higher quality photopolymer stamps, they will sometimes stain your stamps. Not all colors, but some colors will. It's not something that's going to affect the performance of the stamp. But there you go, we have it all set and it's ready to use to make more backgrounds. We've already made 2 beautiful backgrounds, and I thought those were really fun. If I had more time, I'd just keep making more and more of those because it really is enjoyable. It's a fun way to experiment. So now we're going to move on to another background. We're going to use the Big Bold Magnolia stamp set. Again, I'm going to use the Misty, and for this one I'm using a piece of blue cardstock and the Peacock Blue Atelier ink. This one is called Tone on Tone, and it's going to give us a really cool, easy, fun, pretty look. And I've positioned my piece of cardstock in the center of my Misty this time because I want to take all these beautiful flowers and lay them all around the edge. And it's really fun because there's so many different stamps and you can just be very creative. And the other thing is, once you get this positioned, you can create multiple cards really quickly. Now I can lay these all right next to each other and it's just going to lay perfectly aligned. You'll see that I'm going to fiddle around here a little bit. I like to just play with them and look at the composition. But my goal on this one is I'm going to fill the entire piece of cardstock with stamps, and I'm going to start at the top section and then we're going to work our way to the bottom by flipping it over, and then it'll give you an idea of how you can create multiple stamps. So if I was creating multiples, I would then stamp a bunch of the tops, and then when I've got all my top sections stamped, I will flip the paper around and then do all the bottoms. So you can create lots of cards in a really quick amount of time, and you can use these backgrounds to make a variety of different types of cards. Now that I have all my stamps positioned where I'd like them, I'm just going to close my lid gently, press it down a little bit, and now all my stamps are stuck there. So as we talked about earlier, when you have a really high quality photopolymer and a really high quality ink, sometimes it'll stain your stamp. Here's my little trick. If you use the Juicy Watermark Embossing ink first, so you can see I'm going to dab that all over. It's a clear ink. It will not affect how the Atelier works, but it will prevent your stamps from staining as much. Sometimes it prevents it completely, sometimes it lessens it a little bit, but you'll see I'm going to be able to remove this ink and you'll see how clear and the stamps are afterwards. So I'm stamping it down now with the Peacock Blue, and I'm just gently kissing the top plate to the card, and look at how pretty that is. Isn't that gorgeous? I love the way Tone on Tone looks. Tone on Tone is just very elegant, it can be very subtle, and it really makes a great background, especially if you have images that have a lot of color or design. This works beautifully. Instead of having just a plain background, you have this beautiful, subtle background that really complements your card. So now we're going to move on to the other section of the card, the bottom half. And I removed the large flower because I saw that it would overlap. So I removed just the large flower. And now I'm going to use one of the smaller stamps and fill in that space. You can always grab a stamp and you see it fits perfectly in there. And we're going to have this beautiful background with flowers all over it. So I thought I'm going to clean these for you so you can see how well using the Juicy Embossing ink worked to keep the stamps from staining. So I'm using the ink off cloth to remove the excess ink. I'm going to take the ink off cleaner and just gently rub it all over the stamps. And once I have a nice coating on that, I'm going to, oh, and I did want to mention that it will get dirty, the pad, but it will continue to work time after time. If it's dirty, it's not going to affect the way that it removes the ink from your stamps, because you are going to wipe it off with the ink off cloth, and now your stamps are going to be conditioned, and look at how beautifully clean they are. I know the glare is there, but you can see right there all the blue color is gone, and we have beautiful clear stamps. You'll be able to see it a little bit better when I start putting them on the sticker sheet. And now you're all ready to start stamping again whenever you're ready to use this stamp set. And they're conditioned, they're going to keep your stamps working for years and years to come. Not to mention, you can use it to clean your MISTI, and it really makes stamp cleaning a lot more fun. I have to admit, years ago, or even just recently, I didn't used to clean my stamps as much. Sometimes I would put them back and I'm like, oh, I'll clean them later. But now that I have the ink off cleaner, I clean my stamps every time, and then it's great to always be able to just reach for my stamp set and it's already clean, and I don't have to worry about my inks contaminating each other. It really is so much easier and so much more fun. So I'm going to do the next part here. Again, I'm going to use the Juicy embossing ink first so that I can prevent my stamps from staining. And then I'm going to dab on some peacock blue on these two stamps and stamp that in the center, and I'm going to have a beautiful background. So let's close the lid and see what it looks like. And then I'm so excited because I'm going to show you all of these backgrounds. We're going to use these to create a beautiful card. Now look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love tone on tone. It's just so pretty. And if you wind up with some other gaps or spaces, don't worry about it, because you're usually going to be putting another image on top, and it's just supposed to be fun, so don't stress, just enjoy the process. You've noticed we've already created quite a few backgrounds in a really short amount of time. So now we're going to move on to our third type of background, and I'm going to start off with some ink blending. I'm not going to worry too much about getting an even blend for this. I kind of want a splotchy blend, so I am sometimes using a light touch and in some spots using a heavier touch, because I want a lot of variation in my background for this one. What's really fantastic about the Atelier Artist Grade Fusion ink is it is buttery smooth. So it is very easy to get a very smooth blended background if that's what you want. But like I said, I really want a more blotchy look. It almost looks like a sky, a pink sky, doesn't it? Isn't that so pretty? I want a more artistic feel to it. So how I do that is I apply less pressure and more pressure, and I'm using a smaller brush. Another tip that I have is when I'm ink blending, I usually use the lid to dab off the excess ink onto the lid, and then I can use that ink later. So now we're going to move on to using stencils. This is going to be really fun. So I wanted this really pretty pink background, and now we're going to take the Pondy stencil and lay that on top. So I took a piece of tape, purple tape, and I taped down my piece of cardstock at the very edge, and now I'm going to tape down the actual stencil onto my mat. So here we're going to grab that Juicy Watermark Embossing ink again, and we're still not using it for stamping. We're actually using it this time with a stencil. And what's fantastic is you cannot always use embossing inks with stencils, but with the Juicy you can, because our pad is very firm and very sturdy, so the stencil is not going to tear up the pad. It's very, very durable, and I just lightly tap it all over. I'm trying to get really good coverage on the whole thing because I want to get in all those little nooks and crannies. I'm not too worried about using a anti-static tool because I do want this to have a more artistic look to it. You can see that the Juicy Watermark Embossing ink has a lot of uses. It's not just for stamping and embossing. You can actually use it with stencils. We can use it to help keep our stamps clear. It's really, really fun, and it's just very juicy, and it works great for detailed images. But wait till you see how this is going to look with this background. As you can see, I love to experiment, so I'm always looking to show you different tips and new techniques that you can use in your card making or your scrapbooking or anything that you're doing. Even journaling it works perfectly for. So now I'm just taking the Gold Rush Ultra Fine Embossing Powder and just sprinkling it all over the card, and now you can see, look at that. so far so good. So I like to tap it off and get some of the excess powder off my card. Then I'm going to scoop it up and put it back into my container. Because I know me, if I don't put it back into my container, I'm going to dump that powder all over my desk. And as you can see, I have dumped some of it on my desk. So here's my other tip. When that happens, I usually don't want to put that amount back into my container because there might be other things on my desk or on my mat. I just take a large paintbrush and brush my mat off. It works good for getting your mat clean too. A nice big bristle brush is a fantastic tool to have around. Now that we have all our powder back into our container and we have our mat clean, we're going to heat this embossing up, which is my absolute favorite part. It's magical. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? My other tip is whenever you're embossing, always take your heat gun and heat it up a little bit before you get started, because the hotter the gun, the better. So you can see with the Gold Rush Ultrafine Embossing Powder, it is melting really fast. And the reason that it melts so quickly is because it has no fillers in it. It's just pure embossing powder. It's super shiny and super fine, so it's really great for all those tiny little details. Fantastic for sentiments too. And look at that. Now that's the Pondy stencil, and it's Pondy because it kind of represents like lily pads, but I think when you put it on different colors, like we put it on pink here today, it looks like flowers. So I thought it would be perfect for some cards that I wanted to create with some other images that I created recently in another video. Look at that shine. Isn't that gorgeous? And I just think that pink with that gold is stunning. I just wanted to bring out all the backgrounds we've already made in such a really short amount of time. These are going to make gorgeous cards. So we're just going to use the 3 of them today. We're going to use the watercolored version with the mirrored image stamp. Then we have in the center our tone on tone, and the third one is our embossed image background. I'm going to look at how I'm going to make these into cards, and I'm laying out some little birdies that I recently colored on our first episode of Coloring with Ink on 3 right here on the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo channel. So you can check that out on this channel, on the YouTube channel, and see how we colored each of those images. So I'm going to lay those aside and we're going to put that together in just a minute. I wanted to show you how I'm going to put a little sentiment together. So I used the Little Birdie stamp set, and we're going to put on there a little birdie told me it's your birthday. Isn't that so cute? And we're going to run that across. I've laid out these stamps, aligned them in the top of the MISTI, and I'm going to show you, I already stamped one on the top of the cardstock, and then I flipped it around and I'm going to stamp it on the other side of the cardstock. So this is a really great way to get multiple sentiments really quickly. Once I have stamped on the top and the bottom just by flipping that piece over, I'm going to take my cutter and I'm just going to cut the strips, and you'll see here I'm going to flip that around, and now I'm going to cut the other side. And then I've already got 2 sentiment strips ready to go. I can pop this one back into my MISTI, ink that up, and I'll have another sentiment. So I'll have 3 sentiments ready to go for our card assembly. To create those little sentiments, I use the Blackout Detail ink because it really is very black, and it also is great for tiny little details, and those sentiments are tiny, but they're perfect for this card. So I also cut out a piece of vellum a little larger than the little birdie, and I just glued that down with a little liquid glue. I'm not really worried about that glue showing through because I'm going to pop this little circle on top with the little birdie using some foam tape, and it will cover that right up, and it's going to look really cute. Now here you can see I'm just going to lay that right in the center, and now you can't see that glue anymore. So that's a really great way to use vellum, and I like the dimension by not putting glue all the way around the vellum. It gives it a really nice texture to your card, a lot of dimension. And you can see over to the side I already have the other 2 cards assembled, and all the cards are assembled the exact same way. But this one, I noticed I wanted to trim it down just a little bit so that I have my nice little border. You can always trim these down even after all of these pieces are assembled. You'll also notice I did do some embossing on the edges of the sentiment, and I wanted to show you that, but we kind of ran out of time. but you just take the re-inker of the Juicy Embossing ink. I put a little drop on my mat and I used a paintbrush and ran it along the edges, and then I put my powder on, and then I just used a bigger brush and brushed down the center, took off any excess, and I got these beautiful gold edges on my sentiment. So to adhere my card front, I just used again the liquid glue, and I wanted to show you here, if you maybe cut your card base a little too small for your card and your edges aren't exactly even, you can just grab your cutting tool and cut it when it's all done and make sure all your edges are the same. Aren't those adorable? We got 3 beautiful cards in a really short amount of time. The backgrounds are just so fun to experiment with. And like I said, if you missed the coloring tutorial, we actually did 3 different ways to color one little image. We did your standard stamping with black ink, then I did the no line coloring with the fade out ink, and then we did some embossing and talked about watercoloring in all different ways. So check that out on the Stampin' Scrapbook Expo channel. There's a lot of great tips there, but look how beautiful these are. We used all the different inks you see. We got these beautiful cards, and I have to admit this one is my favorite. Which one is your favorite? I'd love to hear, but I just think this was so fun, and I hope you find this inspiring.
Well, I hope you enjoyed making these 3 cards with me today. I know I had a lot of fun. And if you missed the other video where I color the 3 little birdies using 3 different techniques, you can check that one out on the Expo channel as well. As promised, we do have a $25 shopping spree, so you can check that out here at the Expo. And there is a coupon code, so stay tuned. I'll be showing that in just a second. Thanks again for joining me. Make sure you check out inkonth3.com and check out our YouTube channel. I hope you'll subscribe. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey there, it's Beth from Sassy and Crafty. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make some different mixed media backgrounds using Color Burst by Ken Oliver, water, Deco foil, and gel medium. First, what I'm going to do is spray my cardstock with some water. This helps the powder to spread into a paint. There's a couple different ways to apply this powder. Today I applied it directly to the cardstock and then used water to manipulate it. As you can see, it starts to bloom almost immediately when it touches the water. What I like about spraying my paper first is that I can control where the paint goes. Sometimes you get a little bit more than you might want, but you can pick up the excess with a paper towel. And that kind of helps me get the intensity that I want on the paint, and it allows it to blend as well. I'm going to go ahead and spray again for my next color, and what I'm doing here is creating a rainbow. Using these paints you can get a very bright look, or you can get a softer look really easily. They're honestly a lot of fun to play with, and I think they're great for anybody whether you're experienced with watercolor or not. I use my water brush to help spread this color, and help it go exactly where I wanted it to go. Sometimes you can get a little more powder in some spots than others, but you can always make it more fluid by adding more water. I'm using a cold press watercolor cardstock because it really holds up to getting a lot of water in it. And again, I'm going to use that same paper towel to lift up color. I'll be using that paper towel a little bit later in a technique, so I'm being very intentional about how I pick that up. If you're using a dirty paper towel, you want to make sure that you only press the clean parts to your cardstock, because it will transfer back to your project. I didn't like how olive the green was in this set, so what I ended up doing is I started spreading it out, and I just wasn't happy with the color it was giving me, so I added blue directly into the green. I then used my water brush to mix it directly to change the color. I probably would have done this a little differently in the future, but I am not unhappy with what happened here. And the blue is super intense, so I sprayed even more water to help get it spread out a little further over my project. I'm going to go ahead and pick up a lot of that right here. And I wasn't sure how I wanted it to end, so I ended up and sprayed a little more water. You can see there was a little blue powder left on the cardstock, but that's okay, because it's going to be gone when I'm finished. I finished up with this really pretty purple, and the purple is also pretty intense, so I didn't need a whole lot of it. And I spread it around and I went ahead and lifted it up, and you can see we've got a really pretty rainbow going on there. I really do like the way that this looks, but I wanted it to be even more fluid, so I went ahead and sprayed the entire thing again. What I love about these paints is that they move so easily, so if you're not happy with something, you can add water and completely change the look of it. I noticed that there were some spots of cardstock here, and this is still in the yellow, and when I sprayed it, it's so wet, I can actually get a second print here. I really loved what that did, and it ended up being so pretty. I had even more water on my first print, so I used a paper towel to pick that up. And I do suggest when you get your paper towels wet like this, save them, because there's several things you can do. For example, you can run them through your die machine, you can use it to put impressions down, or you can play with them with stencils. And I'm going to show you how I did that today. I decided not to use my palette for this because I wanted to use my embossing mat instead. It just has a little bit of give that helps with the impression. I'm laying down our offset striped stencil, and I'm coming back with that paper towel that I just got full of ink. I'm going to use a 6-inch sprayer, but I need to make sure that it's wet enough to press through. So you can see as soon as I started pressing here, the color starts to lay down. And this was my first time doing it, so it did take me a couple of tries with the water. What I realized is that not only can you spray water down, but if you're just not getting enough color through, you can actually add color back to the paper towel. I did that here, and I noticed that when I applied color to the paper towel, I had a lot more control where the paint went, so that's definitely something I'm going to do again in the future. I'm pressing pretty hard here, so if you have some hand issues or arthritis, you might not want to do this technique, but you can run it through your die machine and get a similar effect. I wanted a bit more color, so I did add some red directly to the paper towel, and I had pre-made some sprays with these paints, and I sprayed this paper towel directly with the purple spray that I had already made. Now, I know that it looks like a big mess, and you can see my hands are super inky. And if you don't like inky hands, that's okay. Go ahead and do the same thing, but grab some gloves. I actually will be wearing gloves a little bit later in the video, but I wanted to let you know that I had an event the same evening that I recorded this video, and I did get all of the paint off of my hands. So it does come off. Feel free to get inky and have fun. I'm really excited by how this looks. It's got just a little subtle rainbow. You can also see the stencil poking through, and it gives it just a little bit of texture. And I'm going to set that aside and work on my next piece. This time I did not use a stencil. I just placed my rainbow piece down and did the same technique with my brayer. You can tell this one's a little wet, so I didn't need to press very hard at all. And it wasn't transferring as much as I wanted, so I went ahead and rotated the paper towel to place color all over my project. It ended up with a really subtle effect, but I also liked how you could see the pattern from the paper towel. And I ended up stopping here because I'm excited with how it looks. Now I'm going to come back in with one of my rainbow pieces that I wasn't really happy with, and what I'm going to do is show you how to turn that piece into a galaxy background. Galaxy backgrounds can be really fun, and there's some different mediums that you can use to make them. I did decide to use the same paints, and you're going to see me pick up and put down the paint several times. You want to see that rainbow shine through because it's what makes a really pretty galaxy. So you don't want to just cover it in your blues and your purple. You also want it to be deep enough to give you that space feeling. So I'm coming in with the blues and purple and spreading it around kind of mishmash. And when I'm done here, you'll see that even though it looks very dark and very textured, that there are awesome spaces where that color shines through. I couldn't even get a really good picture, but when you see it in person, the greens and the blues are really pretty shining through that rainbow. And at this point, my paper towel is pretty covered, but I'm not going to be spreading it around everywhere, so be very conscious of that. I left a spot in the middle kind of open, and that's where you get the most colors peeking through, and that's what kind of gives you that nebula look. Now I'm adding my stars using Hero Art's Unicorn White. I'm going to use a palette knife to pick up from that ink pad, and I wanted to mention that I only use this ink pad for mixed media, so if you're using it for something else, you might want to be a little more careful. You can see I kind of tore up that pad a little bit. I am going to use a water brush to lay down stars. And when I first went in, it wasn't wet enough, so I sprayed it with my spritzer just to get it mobile. And there's different techniques for different size stars, and you can kind of see me switch it up. I start by tapping on my palette knife, and then I switch to kind of brushing off of the palette knife. A little bit in here, I'm going to get a little more water out of my brush to get the ink even wetter. The more fluid your ink is, the softer your stars are going to be, so just keep that in mind. I like having soft stars because it's going to give you a lot of texture and dimension, and I'm just going to keep adding stars until I'm happy. And I think that looks really good, so I'm going to put that aside to dry. I'm going to come back with our rainbow piece that I created earlier. Because the cardstock got so wet, it started to curve, but that's okay. I'm going to use some purple tape to put it down on my mat, and then I'm going to get started with my stencil. I learned recently that you can use pixie spray to affix foil to your project. Pixie spray is a light tack adhesive, and it's used for keeping stencils in place when you're using them, but it also helps foil to stick to it really well. I waited a little too long for this first pull, so when I picked it back up, I wasn't excited about the lack of foil on this project. So I put my stencil back down, I went ahead and sprayed the pixie spray again, and this time I went a little bit faster because I wanted to make sure that this pixie spray was still wet enough to really hold on to that stencil. And there you see, I'm going to put it back down and lift it up. And this time when I lift it up, it's going to be super foiled and pretty. And I love this foil from ThermoWeb, and this particular color is called Shattered Rainbow. Moving on, now I'm going to be using a different technique, using a product from Kindred Stamps. This is called Glitter Gloss, and it's basically a mixed media gel. What I love about this particular product is that it's super thick and super glittery, and it's safe to add water to. If you don't like how thick it is, or if it's dried up on you, if you didn't get a good seal when you closed it, you can always add water, mix it up again, and it's good to go. I'm going to use 3 different colors here and kind of blend them. You want to be really careful when you're putting your excess back in your jar because you don't want it to mix with other colors. And I just realized that I left my glitter gloss open and that my other one was so tight I was having trouble getting it open, so I took it off camera to struggle with it for a bit. You want to remember to clean off your palette knife in between uses because you also can get that color mix, and that's not fun. You don't want pink in your yellow glitter gloss. So when you go to touch the other colors, you don't want that blended part to go back in your glitter gloss. Now I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to blend a little bit with that pink so there's no straight lines when I pull up my stencil. And I added even more because I like to have a really thick covering of this gloss. It just gives it a lot of dimension and makes it super fun. I went ahead and finished with that electric blue, and I'm really loving the way the three colors go together. Now, I took a minute to clean off my stuff because you want to get the glitter gloss off the stencil pretty quickly, and came back to finish up the cards. I finished these cards up by using our Sassy Girls Crafty set and Have a Blast. And I wanted to give you a little trick for our Sassy Girls and a scan and cut or a pick scan, because these stamps are open on the bottom and that can make it really hard to get a good cut. So I stamped these girls in with VersaFine ink. I'm not planning on coloring them, so that ink's fine to use for that. And what I do is I place a very light pencil line here. The line needs to be thick enough that your scan and cut or your cutting machine can recognize it, but you don't want to draw it on too dark because we're going to erase it later. So you want to place down your pencil very lightly, and I go over it a couple times so that it's still easy to erase. This technique is great for any stamp that has any kind of cutoff like our Sassy Girls, or you can also close it in any lines. And now that I've done that, I'm going to put those in my scan and cut and assemble some fun cards. Here are our final projects. I used Blast Off with our Galaxy card and Sassy Girls Crafty with our two mixed media projects. I didn't add sentiments, but you can always add a sentiment on the front or in the inside, whichever you prefer. For this show, our deals are spend $20, get 20% off, spend $50, get 25% off, and if you spend $100, you'll get 30% off your entire purchase. Any purchase over $75 will get a free Sassy pack while supplies last, and if you're new to our company, we have an extra special gift because first-time purchasers will get a discount code to use on a future order. I hope you enjoyed getting inky with me, and I hope you'll check out Sassy and Crafty at www.sassyandcrafty.com.
Welcome back, everybody, and we're so happy, we're so pleased to have Crafty Meraki with us, and as a new vendor, sponsor,
her
presenter.
voice was so beautiful.
I know.
It was so, she was such a great instructor.
Very
I could listen
detailed.
and watch all day.
Yes, and you know, I liked when she started out doing a tour of the website because I think that's so important. You know, she showed how, and gosh, her website is so organized. You know, where you can just go,
easy to shop from, and
exactly. Maybe you know, looking for a specific product, she has it in collections and things like that. So I love that about the website, and then I love the techniques using the slim line dies in so many different ways to make those beautiful ornaments, and she showed two different types of techniques to do that with, and then she used them to decorate the A2 cards, and then adding the bling to the ornaments. I mean,
it was gorgeous.
Just so many great ideas, and she was so detailed as far as giving the instructions on what to do, and some good do's and don'ts with like not using too much glue and things like that, and like the fussy cutting too. That fussy cutting is very therapeutic, that's for sure. So
I do love how she was talking about, I mean, how she uses slim line die. Sometimes you think, oh, I'm not going to use it that much, but she shows how versatile they are, and especially that beautiful one that's hers. So that is a must-have, I think.
Yes.
I love the pink Fresh Essential Jewel Mix, how she used on the ornaments. That is another gorgeous item. And yeah, I loved everything that she created. And so Crafty Meraki show special is use code SSBE20 for 20% off the entire purchase today only.
Wow.
So stop what you're doing.
That's right. Click.
Go over, investigate, and shop, okay? And so that's exciting.
Great. So once again, thank you and welcome Crafty Meraki to our Stamp and Scrapbook Expo
Yes, so
family.
nice to
Yeah.
have ya.
Have you. And then we have Ink on 3, and we always get great tips and great tips and techniques from them.
Yes.
And that mirror image stamp. I mean, isn't that an amazing thing? And look at how many different techniques, different types of backgrounds that she could use with that stamp. And also that the product that she has that cleans those stamps and conditions them.
The ink off stamp cleaner.
Yes, and how, Sean was even saying how, like the stamps are soft instead of, you get that hardness. So I loved seeing those beautiful backgrounds made, just with inks. Then she used water. She showed you, how to use the brayer to for blending and everything. Loved all that. The flower stamp background, how she took the Misty. Boy, the Misty, I'll tell you what, that's just, I use that. I know you use it a lot. It's a phenomenal tool to use. And she was able to cover that whole Misty to make a background stamp. And she did, like she said, she did the tops. She'll do the tops of some, and then she can see what will overlap like that big stamp. She took that out and flipped them and made the rest of it. So love that. And the embossing ink stencil, when she used that for the stencil, was great. So to make a background.
Awesome. I totally agree. I love the Atelier inks. Sean says that they are amazing. So I am on the market for new ink pads, and I'm looking into these, so I think that's a must-have right now. So Ink on 3 is offering 20% off your entire order using code backgrounds20, and it will expire on December 27th. So that is a great deal.
You're gonna love their inks.
Yes.
They're just
so
exquisite.
Yeah.
Ooh,
so thank you.
Can't wait.
I know, and like the colors are so vibrant too, like we mentioned. So so thank you, Ink on 3. Glad to have you back with us as well. And the sassy and crafty ladies, I love them. And I loved once again using a different technique to do backgrounds with that color burst. How fun is that? And she, like she had said, some people will put on the color burst first, but she likes to put the water on first, and then that way, she has more control. And she was able to mix. She was talking about the green, so she was able to mix some of the other color bursts to get that.
There's no mistakes in crafting.
Exactly.
She kind of didn't like the green, so she added the blue and used that, just re-wet the paper, and then using the paper towel, and then she made it. I mean, it was just awesome.
I know. Just
awesome.
And what I liked about it is because she was doing one technique, use the paper towel to pick up the excess, because then she could use that. So it went from one project to the other. Gosh, no waste, no haste.
Exactly. I love it. It was awesome.
And the glitter gloss with the stencil, that was beautiful too.
It was beautiful. Imagine that on the background of a card, or oh my goodness, the sky's the limit.
Yes.
I love the foils with that. What is it called? Pixie spray.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that's so cool. I've never seen that before. That's another must-have. I love that sassy girl stamp. That's so cute. I think I need that. I love it, actually.
Yeah. And they have phenomenal stencils. I have a couple of their stencils.
And their stamps are awesome. I bought some also. So I love sassy and crafty. So right now, the show special is purchase $25, get 20% off using Sassy20. Purchase $50, get 25% off using Sassy25. Purchase $100, get 30% off using Sassy30. Any purchase over $75 will get a free Sassy pack, and the coupon is active now until the 23rd of December. So
I have to interject. I'm sorry. The Sassy pack. Not everybody knows what they are.
Oh, Sassy pack.
These things are amazing. They're these little embellishment packs that she has custom made to match her stamps. They have these beautiful ribbons and sequins, and they're just great.
Gosh.
They're amazing. I love the Sassy packs.
That is a must-have. So you will get a free Sassy pack if you spend $75. So
Awesome.
that is probably very easy to do.
Great. Well, before we go, that was the end of our presentation, but we have some things we want to talk about. One is we really appreciate the cards that we've gotten in from you and Leanne Thompson, who's one of our guests.
I love
/ Creative Memories consultant. She made us all some really cute little ornaments. She personally made each of us one.
I love mine.
We've gotten cards. We've gotten some beautiful things. So we thank you so much.
Thank you.
For that, for sure. We really appreciate that.
Yes.
And we're going to be drawing in just a couple of minutes for our ornament winners. We're going to pick 3 winners. I got them all in this box. Listen to that, all those people.
Woohoo.
So, but we do want to remind you about a couple things. One is we have one of our awesome spotlight events coming up from Club Scrap. Now this was earlier, they only had 7 kits left, so I don't know how many is left. And that's coming up on December the 22nd from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time. And you're going to go to craftathomeevents.com, and there's a link because you're actually going to order the kit directly from them, and they'll get that out to you. And then we also have another wonderful spotlight event, and this one's coming up on January the 10th, which is on a Saturday at 11 a.m. Gosh, we'll get to see that one.
Yes.
And that is with the fine folks at Scrap That. And it is Disney filled. It's a Disney Bonanza box, and I know that it is full of goodies for sure. And you're going to go to the craftathomeevents.com, and there's a link for that as well. And Miss Melissa and Mr. Bobby will get that out to you as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And also, we are continuing, for those of you who've already participated, but we started out with a 30 card swap like we always had at the shows. So listen to this, folks. We have a 30 card swap. We have a 20 card swap. We have a slimline card swap. We have a Valentine's Day card swap coming up. And we have added 6x6 and 12x12 layout swaps as well. So, boy, if you're a card maker, a mini album maker, a scrapbooker, we have a swap for you, and it's so much fun and it's so easy. And you're going to go to shopathomeevents.com, and there's a tab up there that you'll click on where it has events, and then there's a drop down and it'll say swaps, and you'll get all the information on all the swaps. So take a look at that, because I'm sure that there is a swap that would be perfect for you. We have a lot of fun. We have live reveal parties. We have prizes, so all kinds of goodies.
Yes, and there's some great, fabulous things and kits that you can order when you order those. So look on the website, because there are lots of fun.
Exactly. And we also have, right now we have going on our 25% off our a la carte kits from our Mega Make and Takes. So you'll want to check that out, and that is good through the 24th of December as well.
Save a few days.
Yes.
And they're great prices for some awesome projects.
Yeah, so you can pick them and build your own Mega Make and Take as well.
There's stamps in there. There's dies.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful paper packs. There's mini album. There's just
memory jewelry, all kinds of different things. And so you'll want to go. There's a couple of home decor projects in there for sure as well. So
absolutely,
you will want to check those out. And so Vickyville, I have. Look, everybody. This is brand spanking new, folks, as of last week.
Yep.
We want to fill your closet full of Stamp and Scrapbook Expo color. So, Vicki, why don't you show them all the great new, awesome color-filled products that we have for them to buy?
Okay, so I'm on our website, which is createathomeevents.com.
No, shop at home events.
Shopathomeevents.com. And then if you click under where it says apparel, there it says, OMG, full color shirts have arrived. Click on your favorite images to see more. So we have Stamp and Scrapbook Expo, this beautiful logo. Crafting Friends will be there for you. I survived the crafting apocalypse of 2020. Craft more, worry less. Keep calm and craft on. crafting stole my heart. And you guys, what is so cool is you click on it and we have so many fabulous colors now that you can choose from to have this logo put on there. Okay, so we have this beautiful colors. You see the purples. We have tank tops. We have sweatshirts. We have long sleeve t-shirts.
Boy, something for everybody,
yes,
right?
and
wow.
the sizes vary from extra small to 4X. And so there's also, we have aprons like Dave was talking about.
Yes.
So you just go to the apparel and you can click on whatever you want it to say, which there's all these different, and then you can go ahead and choose the color that you would like to have it put on and your size. And whether it's long sleeve, sweatshirt, apron, tank top, the sky's the limit. How cute is that, Dave?
Yes, all right.
Look at all these colors.
I know. I can't wait to get my hands on some of those. I have placed an order for 4 of them, so I'm sure that, gosh, I think by our next shop and play at home in January, I will be sporting one of those.
Woohoo!
For sure. So what a great idea. This would be a great way to start out your new year, wouldn't it?
Yes,
for them
it
to
sure
get
would.
themselves all appareled up to shop at home and
Right.
be with us next year. So
For sure.
awesome. So, well, everybody, we are going to draw now. We're going to draw 3 names for our ornament contest, and we love that we've been able to fill our tree.
Thank you so much for just bringing us joy.
Yeah,
every
it was
time
so
we
much
get in the
fun
mail.
to get them, and everybody, it was wonderful to get all the little cute notes
For
and
sure.
everything. So.
Thank you so much.
All right, so we're going to get a stocking full of goodies out to our winners. So if you are a lucky winner. All right, our first winner is Kathy Lloyd. Yay, Kathy! All right. All right, our next winner is going to be, there we go, Christine Locke. All right, Christine. We showed her ornaments today.
Yes.
So we put a card in here for everybody that submitted, and they're all sticking together. Goodness sake. Must have been doing this when I eat peppermint candy. All right, and then our last winner is from the Schultz family.
Yay!
How about that? So
Schultz
thank you to
family.
our winners,
Yay!
and we'll be getting those goodies
Congratulations.
out to you. I don't know if they'll be there before the 25th Christmas, but boy, wouldn't it be great to get a box of goodies the few days after. So
Yeah, for sure.
all right, Miss Vickyville. Well, so tomorrow we do have our Mega Make and
Yes.
Take. So and all of that is pre-recorded.
Right.
So Vicki and I will be able to stay at home and watch. And excuse me, if you didn't get one of the Mega Make and Takes, you can still
Yes.
get on our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, make sure that you go to Stamp and Scrapbook Expo and subscribe and hit the bell that's down there so you get all of our notifications
Right.
about that. So, well, Vicki, happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all of you.
Thank you for being here with us.
Yes,
through all
and you know
this.
what? Boy, I'll tell you what. 2021 Stamp and Scrapbook Expo strong, folks. So
Yes.
have a good day. Have a great holiday. And we'll see you soon.
We love you. Bye.
Bye. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.